Welcome to episode 55 of the VR Gaming Podcast. You can watch us on YouTube or listen on any podcast platform. I'm Justin, mame-fan on YouTube, and I'm here with Alex, virtual insider on YouTube. And Alex just got back from Gamescom.
Yes, indeed. I
What
went
were
to
you
Germany.
doing? What were you doing there?
I was working. I don't know if we mentioned it before, but I'm actually working for Flat2VR Studios. So I've not really been making any content on my channel because I've just been so busy with work for them. And we recently announced, obviously, a bunch of games which are coming. One of them this year, Trombone Champ. So
Is Trombone Champ the one that you've been working on? Is that the main one, or did you work on any others?
that's the main game.
Okay.
I've not really worked on much else. They obviously announced RoboQuest and Flat Out, but they're like super early development.
In Wrath, Aeon of Ruin.
Oh yeah, that's been handled
It's not
by
called
Team
Wrath.
Beef.
Is it called Wraith? Or is it Wrath?
I think it's Wraith or Wrath. I don't know actually.
We'll get to it. I have it in our list. Yeah, it is Wrath. Wrath, Aeon of Ruin.
Okay.
You know what I mix it up with? There was an 80s movie called Wraith that I liked as a kid. It had a Charlie Sheen in it.
Right.
Anyway, I was watching some other VR content creators, and I managed to find some images of you. So here's Alex working the Flat2VR booth. And I noted, actually, his shoulders. I was like, oh, your shoulders look pretty good. And Alex said he's back in the gym. I can tell.
Yeah, I've been working out. Thank you.
Yeah, I can tell.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. So were you showing Trombone Champ here?
Yeah, we were showing Trombone Champ. There's another game which I can't talk about, which we were showing as well. And
oh, really?
we were showing. Yeah, it's nothing like super exciting. It's just the embargo doesn't lift until the end of the month.
So what? Wait, so people, random people, the public were there playing it, so they could get that. Couldn't they? Oh, okay.
No, it was all appointment only. The whole thing. One of the benefits it was in the business side, so it wasn't on like the main public section. Thank God.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't have to have like queues of people trying to test the thing. It was all part of this big XR booth, which was like a collaboration of all the VR developers. So we had like, instead of having everyone like having small booths like separated, we had one booth which contained all of the majority of the VR games in one space, which was actually really cool. And then Jamie Theltham was there. He was actually on the door, and his partner Zena. They were like getting people to come in, appointments and figuring out who needs to come in and who doesn't need to come in. And it was a free bar. You could order as many drinks as you want. Yeah,
nice.
It was cool.
Anybody get drunk?
Well, it was only non-alcoholic until 5, and then there was alcoholic stuff. But yeah, I mean, a few people obviously would making full use of a free bar and getting a bit shit-faced. But I didn't have any. I was obviously still working.
Yeah. So, who did you meet of the well-known VR people, and are any good stories?
I don't think any stories. I met quite a lot of obviously content creators because I was staying in an apartment with Paradise Decay, which is Paradise Decay and Miles Dyer. I don't know if you know who that is. Miles does PSVR with a parole stuff sometimes, and he's got his own channel as well.
Okay.
And Alex VR, another Alex.
Okay. Yeah, he VR Crewcast he used to do. I think they quit that.
Yeah, I think he does a podcast with someone called Skiva.
Yeah.
He also works for Flat2VR. Yeah. In fact, he's in the picture. Like the first picture there is on the left in the headset. So.
Oh yeah, their podcast is Beyond Realities. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and he used to work for the Haptics.
Yeah, he
doing
did.
like all the but he's working for Impact Reality now.
I played After the Fall with him once.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was actually sharing an apartment with those, which was fun. And then I met a few people like Mike from Virtual Reality Oasis. I had a quick chat with him.
Really?
Saw a
Huh.
gamer tag VR, but didn't really talk to him. Some other people like Nacy, I had a chat to. Anna what's her name? Ribera,
Ribeiro.
Pixel Rip developer. Yeah,
Was she
I
wearing
talked to her.
the costume?
No, she was wearing green though. Like
Oh, okay.
she was wearing. She likes to wear a lot of green.
Yeah.
She wasn't like dressed up in the is it the dot costume?
Yeah, Dot, yeah.
Yeah, there was quite a few people. I met some people that to be honest, I didn't really care too much about those people. Maybe Mike from Virtual Reality Oasis, because obviously I've seen him so much. But there were some people I met who I genuinely watch and really enjoy, like Ian Higton from
Mhm.
Eurogamer.
Yeah.
I had a chat with him. Rob Pearson from PlayStation Access, who I find hilarious, and John Linneman from Digital Foundry as well. He came and tested the game.
So did all
So
those
that was
people
cool.
come to your little spot and demo with you?
Yeah, they all came over. They had a demo, and
Okay.
I had a quick chat with them afterwards.
Did you already say
But yeah, it was
were
cool.
you demoing specifically Trombone Champ?
Mostly Trombone
Okay.
Champ, this other game, and Wrath as well. But mostly, most of the demos were for Trombone Champ. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I have a video. I was trying to find videos of Gamescom. This is the only one I could find. I just kind of wanted to see what it looked like. Like I wanted like a walkthrough video showing these people are, I think, World of Warcraft guys, and
Right.
there's some VR World of Warcraft experience where you ride a dragon.
Yeah, someone tried that. I think Alex VR tried that. He said
Oh, it is?
it was okay. He didn't seem to be. He was really excited to try it, and I don't think he was as impressed when he tried it as what he thought it was going to be. But
Yeah, when they showed
yeah,
the actual game, I was like, yeah, that doesn't look like much to it. It's just like a roller
yeah, it
coaster,
was.
basically.
Yeah, it's like a theme park ride. You're on like a motion controlled thing that moves and it's got wind and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's not a game. You're literally just riding a dragon through part of World of Warcraft.
Yeah, on if you're
Still
watching
cool.
YouTube, on if you're seeing the video, we're showing people walking through Gamescom, so you see like the Xbox booth and all these different games. I don't know what Reanimal is, and did you see any cool flat games when you were there? Or you're just too busy working, probably.
I didn't get to see any of this. Literally, I did not. I went out once just to try and have a quick look around, and it was so busy that
Hmm.
I just like, oh, I really can't stand this. So I kind of went back to the booth. But yeah, I didn't see any of this stuff. I didn't
Okay.
because the place is massive. Like we've got 13 halls or something. Yeah, it's just like you can easily get lost. Trying to find your way around was a pain at times. So I didn't get. I would have loved to have seen some of these booths because they look really cool, but I didn't get a chance to see any of this stuff, unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah, every year there's something called MagFest, which stands for Music and Gaming Festival near me. And I went this
Yeah.
past year and I was like, oh, yeah, I can't do these things anymore because it was just so many people. It was way more people than what you're seeing in this video. This video looks like this must be early. Like,
Yeah, that was nothing. Like it was like 5, 10 times as many people as what's in this video when I
yeah,
went out. It was just absolute bedlam. Sorry.
yeah,
And yeah, it was just like, and I didn't want to catch anything as well. I was conscious of like, because I
yeah.
needed to do something when I got back. I didn't want to go out there and then catch COVID or something stupid. So
Like me. Yeah, I went to
that,
MagFest and got
mm,
COVID.
yeah. So I avoided people as much as possible, other than obviously the people I had to talk to. And a couple of people that was like Alex VR and Elliot Tate, who's one of the main like Flat2VR guys.
Hmm.
He got really sick,
Oh,
but luckily I didn't, so I got away with it.
because he was talking to so many people. Is that why?
Yeah, I mean they were constantly meetings and doing a lot more than me, so they will have come in contact with more people. But
Okay.
yeah, luckily for me, I didn't get sick because I really didn't want to get back and be ill. That would have been really bad.
All right. Was that your first time working a convention or something like that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's my first time doing it. It was cool. I wasn't sure if I was going to enjoy it, but when I was there, just meeting all the people I've been working with in real life and getting to actually showcase this game that we've been working on and getting people to actually try it and get their feedback, it was actually really good. So
Here's
enjoyed
something I'm
it.
curious about. So most people don't know what you look like. So most people, I'm sure, didn't know you're Virtual Insider. So did you have to tell people, "Hey, I'm Virtual Insider, by the way"?
No, I didn't tell anybody. I was
Oh,
completely
really?
anonymous, which is
Oh,
kind of
wow.
kind of nice. There
Wow.
was one person who actually recognized my voice and knew
Hmm.
that it was me, but
Oh, was it
yeah,
a
everyone
random or
else.
was it a YouTuber type?
It was someone I'd actually already spoke to previously about some like business stuff,
Okay.
and yeah, I was just chatting to him, and all of a sudden he like stopped and like, "Wait, you're Virtual Inside?" And I was like, "Yeah, I am," which was nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like all the other content creators and like obviously gamer tag and stuff. No one had a clue who I was
Wow.
because I don't show my face, so
Yeah. Wow. Was
that's
Gamertag
fine.
big? Was he big?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. Yeah,
he's
I mean, I
built like a
imagine.
unit, you know.
Like, how tall is
He's
he?
he's I don't know, he must be 6 foot. He's taller than me, and
Yeah.
his arms and massive, legs are massive. So
Yeah.
yeah, he's a big dude.
Yeah.
He's definitely in some serious protein.
Yeah. All right. Anything else about Gamescom?
No, I think it was just nice to see all these developers together, and it made the VR scene feel bigger than maybe it would have felt if they were all separated. Because it was like a hub area, so all the content creators would come and they would hang out, and then they would like do their little demos that they've got booked. Then rather than them going off somewhere else, they would just like hang around the area for a bit. It was just a really good social kind of space, and because it wasn't open to the public, it was just like chill. It wasn't like too manic, and everyone could like have a conversation and get to know each other. So yeah, I think it was really cool, and I'm hoping that if they do it again next year, that more developers get involved and the booth can get even bigger. Because it's really cool to see all of these developers that are working on these games like together and talking to them and being able to have a chat with developers and see how they're getting on with the VR space.
Is it always in Germany?
Gamescom's like yeah, always in Cologne in Germany.
Oh, okay.
There are other
Well,
games conferences, but this is the biggest one in the world, so it's the big one.
well, I'm
You want to
probably
do
never
one?
gonna go. Unfortunately, if it's in Germany. Unfortunately, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean there were a lot of Americans there, but obviously they were working like content creating stuff, so it was probably worth it for them to get the flights over, the
Yeah,
content they get and the connections they make.
I watched VR Oasis Mike's Batman video, and he said that Meta paid for his flight and his accommodations. I was like, damn, that must be nice.
Nice. Yeah,
I'd
that is
go if I
nice.
could get that. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of maybe they paid a lot of content creators to do that then because
yeah.
there was a lot of people like Matteo, what's his name?
Mateo 311.
Matteo, yeah, he was there and like they're
Yeah.
from America, and Nacy, who was like a Beat Saber person, she's from Australia. So there were people coming from all over the world. Um,
I don't know how these Beat Saber people stay popular. Like,
well, I was talking to Nacy, and she was saying like she is trying to diversify
uh-huh.
into other content because obviously like you can't just constantly make Beat Saber videos, so
And
she's
also
doing
that
more than
music
that.
is always copyrighted, so you can't make video money off the video probably.
Yeah, that's true. There is a lot of copyright music. If you're playing custom songs, then you're gonna get your video flagged and demonetized.
But even the songs that are built into the game, they're probably copyrighted. Maybe they can get
Uh,
special permission or something.
yeah, I think the main stuff is fine, but obviously the DLC packs are probably
Oh,
copyrighted.
okay. All right. Want me to go to my first game?
Yep.
All right. So, Tomb Explorer VR. I got a free key for this. Did you get a key? I don't remember.
I think so. I think I've got one.
Okay.
I've not played it
This
yet, unfortunately.
we're showing my video that I made of this. So this is like early access. It's like kind of like a Lara Croft game, but
Yeah.
it's pretty rough. You can definitely tell it's very indie. One thing, okay, if you're looking at the video, these these instructions kept popping up in front of me and completely like blocking most of what I was trying to look at. And I told the developer, hey, can you fix that? I don't know. He's been doing updates, so maybe he fixed that. But like, I was trying to figure out what would you say about to a developer like during a tutorial, and even when you're playing the game, it just keeps popping up and like it's blocking. Would you say get rid of that map graphic and just have the text floating, or would you say put it off to like the left or the right or something?
I mean, yeah, that's pretty terrible having it right in front of your face like that.
Yeah, what's the better way to do it? Since you're a sort of a game developer now, you're involved.
I mean, you wouldn't want to have something like that. You would want just. I mean, how do most VR games do it? They just
So
have
I'm,
like something that's semi-transparent. Like you wouldn't have a full map. You would just have text with maybe like a border around it, so that it's not taking up the entire space.
yeah,
But even then, there's better ways to do it, but you just have to put a lot more time and effort into it.
yeah, and that
Like,
it follows your head movement, so it stays in the center no matter where you where do you turn your head. Anyway, so you can climb, and the climbing works fine. But what I had the biggest issue with is you get a whip. I'm fast forwarding a little bit through. You can do the zip line stuff. Okay, you get a whip, and the tutorial doesn't make it clear how to use it, and I struggled a lot. Just so you're gonna have to whip it, and then it'll grip onto like some sort of ledge, and then you can go across a gap. Well, I couldn't figure out how to use it. I had to talk to the developer, and he said, "Oh, all you have to do is you point it up in the air at the thing you're trying to whip at, and then you just click a button." So the whole time I was playing, I was trying to whip it like wouldn't you assume that you actually whip it like you would a whip because we're in VR, but no, it's just like point and click. But the tutorial didn't explain that, but maybe he's fixing it.
yeah,
You played the demo of this, right?
yeah, a while ago.
Yeah, the demo came out a long time ago. This is still the tutorial. You get a bow and arrow. Oh, you get a bow and arrow. Um, I don't know. I'm trying to find the spot. Oh, well, you can see here. My hand is stuck in this dish where I'm trying to get the gun out. It has janky stuff like that.
Yeah,
Once I start the level, I meet up. I start out on this boat, and I'm like, oh, maybe I can drive this boat around, but you can't do that. And it looks okay, as you can see from the video. And I'm walking behind a girl being an asshole. And you end up meeting up with the hot woman right here. But unfortunately, she ends up being your sister. So I'm like,
oh,
I'm conflicted here on this is my
yeah,
sister. And
yeah. What's the
you're
problem?
yeah, you're stuck here doing this conversation with her for a while. And then you go to the bartender and like you get her a drink or something. You come back and give her the drink, and you just go back and forth talking. And it's not very good. Um, I did see an
The
update,
game?
huh? Yeah,
The game's not very good.
no, it's not very good. Too long didn't watch. Yeah, it's not very good.
Oh,
But he's still actively updating it.
yeah,
Um, this part was unbearable for me. And like you have to point your pointer to go, and then hold down the trigger for take drinks back to. So it's like a flat game that basically that they're turned into VR is what it feels like. I think I'm I'm remarking in this part on how strange her ass looks. All right, let's go
that's
for
definitely something you would do.
that is something I would do. All right, so here we are in the actual level. Oh, and one thing that's hilarious about this is the whole time that your character is talking in such an unnatural, cheesy way. He's like, "Oh, those sunbeams coming down from the sky look so beautiful and majestic." He says shit like that. And you're like, what the fuck? Who the hell came up with this dialogue? And I don't know if they got some sort of chat GPT or AI to come up with the
Mm.
dialogue, or if it's like somebody who doesn't speak English. But it's like things that nobody would ever say. It's like, oh, the wilderness beckons to me, and all this
It
nonsense.
sounds like AI.
Yeah. So you make your way to this tomb. I'm fast forwarding. You do some climbing. And the demo was the same tomb in this video. And one really annoying thing is out of nowhere you'll just hear bzzz, and then you're like, what the hell? And you're taking in some damage, and you'll go like, what the hell is that? Because you don't see anything. Like maybe look behind you, and there's like, it's like really a really poor image of bugs, and they're like moving all over the place, and you just have to like swing your lit torch, and then they die. But it looks terrible. Maybe they'll. I think I'm doing it right now, but in the video, it's so dark that you couldn't really see them. It's like an image of bugs, and you just swat your torch at it, and then they die. And there are puzzles. You'll solve some puzzles. It'll be like you got to pull a lever to make some spikes go away, or you got to climb up to find a relic, and then you got to put the relics down on these pressure plates. So, it's Indiana Jones type of stuff. And just a lot of the interactions, right? At least when I played it, aren't very good. So, like, you go into the menu, right here, I'm swatting at little shitty bugs. But you go into the menu to get items, and you can only grab them with your left hand, whereas most people are right-handed. So you grab it with your left hand, and then then you switch it over to your right hand. So you gotta let go of grip, and then get your right hand to grip the item. And I got through this level, and I got to the second level. Here I am putting items on the pressure plates, and the guy says something like, "These pressure plates yearn for these relics," some shit like that. And in the video, I'm laughing my ass off at it.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go forward. I made it through, and you do the zipline stuff, which is pretty fun. I mean, after some patches, I'll go back into this game. But what I played, I wasn't crazy about. So you get these relics, and then you go to the pressure plates. Okay, so now here's where I'm in the second level, and here's the part where I'm struggling. I didn't. If you look at that little ring up at the top, I can see a little white. I guess that's a rope emblem. Well, what that meant was apparently I was supposed to just point the whip at it and then do trigger, and then I was just gonna go across. I'm sitting here in this video, just I tried. I don't know. I might have tried 50 times to try to make it across. Maybe I'm just stupid. I don't know. Maybe that's the problem. But I couldn't get across. But after talking to the developer, I guess you just point your whip and click, and that's how you make it. But that's
Which
where I
seems
gave
a bit
up.
lame.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where I gave up. And sometimes it would work. Sometimes I would get across because I must have see like right here. I'm like, oh shit, but then I didn't I didn't stay high enough. I don't know how you stay high enough. So like, yes,
I
sometimes it
guess you
works.
probably got to keep hold of the trigger to swing, maybe, and you would let go
Yeah,
of the
maybe I
trigger.
let go of the trigger.
But yeah, it would have
So
been better if you did it with swinging. Like you had to maybe hold
yeah,
the trigger and swing your hand or something.
yeah. And the tutorial doesn't explain that you have to just click. So I thought swinging is what I do, and it's just I did click.
Oh,
I was clicking the button every time. I would swing the whip and then click at the apex, but it's just not. It's just not working.
yeah.
So
No, it needs work.
yeah. So I guess that's all I have to say about Tomb Explorer. I'm gonna go back into it and try the whip again. And like I said, I saw that he's done updates. He might have even fixed that stuff in the tutorial where there's that instructions pop up and cover the whole game. So,
Yeah.
you want to go to your game Vendetta Forever?
Yeah, we can talk about that. This is a game that was the only game that I did manage to get a chance to play at Gamescom, which it was. I don't know if this was it recently revealed at the VR gaming
Yeah,
showcase.
yeah, it was. And then there's also a demo that I haven't gotten to try.
Oh, there's a demo for public as well.
Yeah, it's a public demo.
Oh, cool! I didn't know that.
Yep.
Yeah, I played the demo. I'm assuming it's the same thing at Gamescom, and yeah, it's really good fun actually. Way better than I was expecting. It obviously looks like Pistol Whip and a
Super
bit
hot.
like Super Hot, and it's basically it feels like an evolution of Super Hot. So you have a certain amount of guys who are stood in front of you on a scene. You have to kill them, and when you do that, you can then move on to the next scene. Move on to the next scene, you have to grab like a weapon. So there'll be a gun on the floor or something, and you grab it, and it kind of pulls you forwards to that next area. Like you can see in the trailer where like constantly having like dash forward. That's when you grab something, it pulls you forward. You shoot the next lot of guys, and then you pull forward. It's got a really nice flow to it. I feel like it's got way more flow to it than Super Hot because you're controlling the movement rather than it just automatically moving you. And it's yeah, it's very similar to Super Hot in that it's not quite obviously the same way you like time doesn't move when you move or anything like that, but it does have like slow motion stuff. So there'll be bullets that are coming towards you can dodge. It's all room scale basically. It's all very physical. There's no free locomotion. You're moving and dodging around your play space, dodging bullets, shooting bad guys, moving on to the next area, shooting some more. And yeah, I thought it was really good fun. It just reminded me so much of Super Hot, and that's a game that I enjoyed so much. And it's just nice to have that sort of addictive room scale based kind of gameplay that feels really polished. It's got a nice aesthetic, and it's definitely up there with one of the games I'm really looking forward to now, which I didn't even know about until I played it. So
But here's the difference from what I can tell: is it Super Hot? You want to go slowly and take your time, whereas this
yeah,
game, from what I've seen, it seems like you're really rushed. It's like a speed run game.
it's built around speedrunning and leaderboards, so you can obviously go as fast or slow as you want. There's no kind of like pressure to move fast if you don't want to. You can move as slow. Like you
Mm,
don't move forward until you actually grab the gun. So if you want to just stay where you are for a while and not move to the next
okay.
section, you can do that.
Okay.
There's no like pressure to do that. It's only if you want to chase leaderboards uh, and get a fast time that you need to move like, really quickly. But yeah, you can literally just like take a breather, wait, grab the next weapon, move to the next area, and then obviously you'll have another set of guys to kill. Like you will need to do. It's very much Super Hot, but just with a really cool mechanic of dodge and move around by grabbing things. It's really
Okay.
good. I really
Okay.
enjoyed it.
All right. Well, I'll try the demo.
Yeah, I'd recommend trying the demo. I didn't know there was a demo out, so that's definitely something that everyone can give a go and see what they think. But I think it's one of those games that you play when you play it, it's just so fun that I even said to. It's funny because I even said to the developers that you need to definitely put a demo out, and they didn't even tell me there was a demo out. They said, "Oh, it's something we'll have to think about for next year
Really?
or something." And I'm like, "Yeah," and it
Huh.
turns out they've got a demo out. So
Yeah.
that is a bit strange, but
Yeah, I added it to my library like when I was on like the website on the for the game.
oh, it even
But
says there, play the free demo. Okay,
yeah,
well,
but I always forget about my Quest games because I always just get into my Quest and I go straight to virtual desktop. So I don't ever even look at my library to remember, oh, I have that, I have a bunch of stuff I've bought and I've never played. So,
yeah, give it a go. I think
all
it's
right.
good.
All right. Okay, next one is Rogue Ascent VR. Thanks to the Recentered podcast guys, I got a free key from them. They have a Discord, and that's where I got the key to this. But I don't like the game, unfortunately. I thought was a Steam key. I thought this was going to be a hand tracking only game because that's what it is on Quest. So I was interested to try that because I never have tried a game, especially like an FPS game where it's hand tracking only. I thought that would be interesting just to try. But the Steam version, you'd use controllers.
Yeah.
There's no hand tracking in that version. And as far as playing it with controllers, I was like, this is it. So it's like grid based movement, and it's teleport. It's teleport only. So and you're moving around a grid, so you're just kind of like forward, left, right, backward in this predetermined grid. And it, I did the tutorial. It took me a long time just to figure out how to even get through the tutorial. It was really unclear. Then I got to like the main title screen area, and I couldn't even. I still don't understand how I started the actual game. I still don't know what I did. So that was confusing. Again, maybe I'm dumb. I don't know. I got into the game, and then it was just like, it's not good. I'm sorry. Um, you had enemies kind of running around that they look pretty stupid. I didn't get very far in the game. I just went in like a few levels, and they're just running in these like really predictable patterns, and you're moving on this grid. Like say for example, Compound apps, and you don't even like Compound. Compound
No.
absolutely destroys this game. I love Compound. I wouldn't even consider playing this game again as a comparison. I don't get it. I really think the gimmick with this game, what's interesting is the hand tracking. And again, for now at least, that's only on Quest. That's what
Yeah.
I really wanted to try. So I would say don't bother on Steam. If you want to try this, try it on Quest. I did not understand the appeal at all. I heard some people say they like this game. They like this game and that they wish they could use controllers for better control. But I was playing with controllers and I didn't like it at all. So I don't
Well,
get it.
give it a miss then.
Yeah, that's a miss.
Yeah.
All right, so now we'll go to UEVR. So I beat Little Nightmares 2. And you beat it
Yeah.
too, but you beat it in
Mhm.
Vorpex or something? Or
How
was it
did I play? I think I
UEVR?
played it in 3D. Maybe it was UEVR. I played it in 3D at least. Sure. So
Okay. So I did 3 videos of Little Nightmares 2. I did one, and then you told me you wanted to see me keep playing it because you wanted to see my
yeah.
reaction. So this is the
Yeah.
second video, and
Spoilers.
yeah, there's gonna be Little Nightmares 2 spoilers like when we talk about this. So if you want to skip ahead to the next game and not hear any Little Nightmares 2 spoilers, you can. So Little Nightmares, if you don't already know, it's very dark, meaning like the story is a lot about death, and there's a lot of violence. And in Little Nightmares 2, you're this kid running around with a bag on your head, and a lot of times you have this other kid running with you. I didn't realize till later that other kid is a girl.
Yeah.
Did you know that? And
No, I
like,
didn't realize that.
oh, you didn't know that? Okay. In the video right now, like there are traps I'm avoiding as I'm going through these hallways, and they're gonna be there's like creepy enemies that come out of nowhere. Sometimes they're really big. They're like kind of like monsters, but sometimes they're also little kid looking doll type things.
Annoying.
But yeah, and they're annoying. A lot of this it's a puzzle game, but it's also like a timing game. So like here I have this hammer, and this enemy here is gonna come at me, and I'm gonna have to. But actually, in this case, I was lucky. A bucket swung and killed him. There's a lot of points in this game that get really annoying because you have to perfectly time your swings with these hammers or these pipes that you're holding. And you were telling me about that in the last episode that you got annoyed with that, and I totally get it
Yeah.
because
Yeah, you have to time
it's
it
hard to
so
time it right.
perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah. And it was really they really should have improved like the leniency of when you swing because
yeah,
And it's instant death. If you miss, it's like instant death, and you have to redo it over and over again. It's really
Yeah.
frustrating.
Yeah. So in this scene, there's a teacher in a classroom, and this teacher, to me, this teacher was the coolest enemy in the whole game. Um,
Yeah, she has a long neck,
yeah,
a neck
she
kind
has
of
a long
extender.
neck. Let's see if I can. I kept okay, so I guess we're not gonna see the long neck. Oh wait,
It comes
maybe
later on.
this scene. I remember. Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
I kept
When you
falling
fell.
here. There's this one platform. Like a lot of times, the platforms will just kind of keep you on it automatically. But then there was this one I kept coming to where it was like not letting it wasn't being very lenient. Um, like when you're on these narrow platforms and the game just kind of automatically guides you. Like this one is guiding me.
Yeah.
Then I got over to the one I'm on right now, and I kept falling off. But I mean, okay, and she ate me. She ate me there. Anyway, I kept dying at that part, and then I finally realized what I needed to do. So I kept playing this game because Alex told me it was worth it, and that he wanted to see my reaction at the end. And
Okay.
unfortunately, I was disappointed. I was
Why?
like, by the end, I was like, what what was he talking about? what like so? What was the part that you liked or that you were like most interested in?
I mean, obviously, I mean, this is big spoilers. So if you've not
Yeah,
played the
big
game,
spoilers.
again, don't listen to this. But it was for the start. Obviously, there was the big reveal. There was a big reveal that the little person following you is actually Six, which is the girl from the first game. So she's
Uh-huh.
actually like it's kind of almost like a prequel in a way to the first game. It shows her getting a little raincoat and everything.
Yeah,
Then later on, like stuff happens where she can't remember the full details of how it happens, but she becomes like this really weird, like distorted version of
yeah,
herself.
yeah. That
And
that big
I thought that was
big
really
monster
cool.
thing. And
Yeah,
then anytime you get near her, she kills you.
yeah. You had to like figure out how to get past her with the music box and things.
Yeah,
I thought that was really cool the way they did that. And then the final part was like the big twist, which was the fact that in the game you have this really tall guy who comes like one of the monsters is like this really tall guy who comes out of a
yeah,
TV.
yeah.
Um, and it turns out that the character that you're playing with the bag on your head is you are actually the tall guy. You kind of
You grow up to be the tall guy.
yeah, you are him. You're like
Yeah,
it's like almost like a loop where you are the tall guy, but you obviously don't realize, and then you get trapped, and then you grow into the tall guy, and I guess it somehow loops, and you come back out the TV again, and then you're chasing yourself in a way. Yeah, it's like it was just really trippy the way that they revealed like, oh, actually, you were all along. You were this creature that was trying to kill you is actually you, and you become them, and then you go through the TV, and you come back out, and like, yeah, it's like a loop, I
well,
guess.
it wasn't until the end of the game that they showed me grow up to become the tall guy. That's when I realized,
Yeah,
oh, I'm the tall guy. Did
yeah,
they?
that's when they
y-
show it.
Yeah, yeah. At the end, yeah. So like,
Oh, and the other thing as well was the fact that right towards the end, you do like this jump, and Six, the little girl in the raincoat, like
yeah,
catches your hand,
yeah.
and
And then
then
she lets
the
you
bitch
drop.
lets you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so
I
you
thought that was
like the
cool.
story stuff. I actually don't care about the story stuff at all, like at all.
Right.
All I care about is
Okay.
gameplay. So I didn't like the gameplay.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
the story stuff, I was just kind of like, oh, she dropped me, and I was like, oh, I'm growing up to be the skinny guy. Oh, okay. I don't know. It doesn't really affect me. I don't know why. That doesn't.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. Like the first game, at the end of the first one, you have like you basically eat the freaking Japanese woman or whatever, and you get her superpowers, and
I
you
like
become.
that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That was really cool. And then this one, they've done like this twist with you becoming the thing that was chasing you, which I thought was a really cool twist at the end.
But what ruined it for me was I think they ruined the gameplay when you got to that weird area where you have to go through multiple doors and you have to figure out which
Yeah.
order of which doors. I hated that part. In my third video, I'm fucking complaining the whole time I'm playing. I'm bitching the whole
Yeah,
time.
you just had to follow the music. You could hear the
Yeah.
music, get to go through the door with the music on it.
Well, yeah, it took me a while to figure out. It wasn't music. There was just a different sound effect.
Was it that sound? I thought there was
Yeah,
music for some reason.
I didn't hear any music that I recall. Like, so I'd go through. So there'd be multiple doors. Say there's 4 or there's 6 doors, and they're all like pink or something. Like there's pink light through them, and you have to figure out. You just have to like. It's a ton of trial and error. I have to go through this door, then I have to go through this door, then I have to go through this door. And if you do it in the wrong order, you'll hear a slightly different. I heard a slightly different sound. Like
Yeah.
the correct sound would be like ding, whereas the wrong sound would be like dang. And
Oh,
it
I
was
can't
something
remember. It's
like
been a
that.
while.
And
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I don't know. I mean, I don't know at what point I realized it, but once I realized it, I was like, okay, well, I just now just I have to go through. I have to just keep trying these doors until I go through them in the right order, and that to me is extremely tedious and not fun. I don't like that type of game. I've done that type of gameplay in other games. I've always hated it.
Yeah, I agree. It wasn't like that great. That sort of trial and error stuff isn't particularly that exciting. So
I did like how you fight your friend that turns into a monster. I did like, once you have to use those portals, those door portals, you know, kind of get get the monster to come over to one side, and then go through a portal to come over to the other side so that you can get to his music box and hit it with your hammer. Do you remember that?
yeah,
Okay. So that was, that was interesting. I struggled with this stupid chess piece puzzle a little bit because I was like, I kept thinking this in the back, this cabinet there has to be something I have to do with this cabinet, and then it ended up being no, actually not at all.
yeah. Some of the gameplay is a bit frustrating because it is a lot of trial and error. And I think the reason I like it so much is because of the world and the monsters and like how dark and yeah. I think in a way I like the story and the world and everything else about it more than the gameplay, which is probably a bit weird, but
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
I mean, the gameplay was good at times, but there were these moments that were frustrating.
So I liked Little Nightmares one more. You maybe like
I
Little Nightmares.
agree.
Oh, you like one more?
Yeah, I prefer one.
Okay. And three is gonna come out what, next year?
Yeah, but that's been made by a different studio, so
Okay.
I've got my reservations about that. But yeah,
And
it's going to be co-op as well, which could be cool.
yeah, yeah. Um, what else
What
about?
else have you been playing?
Oh, you want me to go to the next one? All right. Ooh, Orcs Must Die 3. So I talked about this before, and I went back to, like, I used a 6 DOF profile with this when we talked about this before, and then I decided, there's a streamer that I watch a lot called Mike Matei. He is from Cinemassacre. If you've ever watched Angry Video Game Nerd, he was playing
Yeah,
Orcs Must Die 3 flat, and he loved it. And I was like, oh yeah, I got to go back to that. So I did, and I tried the 6 DOF profile again, and it wouldn't work. It might have made the game crash, and then I looked at the Discord, the Flat2VR Discord, and all these other people were saying they had the same problem. So I just said, all right,
yeah.
screw it. I'll just do like right here. I'm moving the camera around so that I could get a first person view, because I think I
Right.
couldn't. Maybe I don't. No, I did attach to the pawn. I attached here to the pawn, but then it puts me in the butt. So then I'm just changing my view so that I'm up in the face, and then I use the 3 DOF controls. So here I'm doing the 3 DOF with the weapon.
That's cool.
Yeah, but it makes the HUD move around. A lot of these games,
Yeah,
the HUD is attached to. It's usually
yeah.
attached
To
to the
the aim.
crosshair. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wish there was a way. But there's probably no way to separate them.
Not without someone would have to like mod that
Yeah.
separate, which wouldn't be easy.
Yeah, so in this video, I'm playing. So, okay, Orcs Must Die 3. This is now actually has become one of my favorite games. It's and
Okay.
I beat the game, and then there's all this DLC. I bought all the DLC. I beat all the DLC, and
Yeah.
I still want to play it because like I want to be like, all right, can I do better on that level? Setting up all these traps. There's like probably 100 different types of traps you can use. Just setting it up,
Right.
thinking about the strategy of it, and then you're also in not third or first person, however you're playing, fighting these monsters while they're coming through. Like I've always liked tower defense games, but I don't think I've
Yeah.
ever played one where I've also been involved in the battle, like straight up. It's an overhead view in these types of games, and you're not really involved. Maybe you're shooting at them as a god or something. But in this one, it's an FPS style eh, game, and it's so fun. Okay, here I am. Then you set up all your traps, and then you say, all right, we're ready. Start the invasion, and then they'll break the door down, and then I'm shooting at them while they're coming through. I set up a barricade so that they have to go this way, which is a very important thing to do. Then I have these arrow walls that shoot arrows at them, and you can upgrade all of your traps. Every time you do well on a level, you'll get these skulls. You use the skulls kind of as a currency to upgrade your traps or to buy new traps. It gets very addictive. Then you'd be like, oh, I could have done that level better and I could have gotten more skulls. Let me do that level again because then I should have done something differently. And you're like, oh, I could have barricaded this part, or oh, I could have put, this type of trap over here, and then I could put these on the ceiling. You can put traps on the ceiling, you can put them on the floor, you can put them on the walls. And these holograms you're seeing, and it's showing where they're going to come for the next wave. And so you just got to think about,
Right.
all right, what's the best way to set this up? It's so fun. I couldn't recommend it higher unless you're someone who doesn't like tower defense types of games. So do you ever play those types of games?
Not really. I, I don't know. I'd have to try a really good one. I've never really played many VR ones, so
Yeah,
what's the best
so
VR one? Like
with VR
VR
ones, there's
specific?
Now There Be Goblins. That's definitely trying to be Orcs Must Die. And then there's Iron
Yeah.
Guard. Iron
Right.
Guard is another one. But they can't touch this game. No way.
Right.
I'm trying to think of
Yeah,
other
that's the
ones.
thing. Maybe I should try this one specifically.
Yeah. And then there's also war scenarios. The war scenarios, let me see if I can get to a war scenario in my video. Well, here I set up a bunch of archers to help me um, in
Right.
this section. Let me see. There was a war scenario where I just kept dying. Okay, this is the war scenario. They send hundreds, probably over 1,000 enemies at you,
Right.
and they give you special war traps. Like this is a giant flip trap. What this does is it sends the enemies flying in the direction of the arrow, so it'll send them. You want to send them like into a pit of lava or into
Yeah.
water, and okay, here they're already at my gate here. Okay, I set up a big bank of archers. So just hundreds of enemies come at you, and usually they come from multiple places. So they're going to come from that pink looking area, but then on the other side of that mountain, I think there's another place where they're coming from.
Yeah.
And you fight a war, and there's waves of them, and they always make it into your castle. There's really no stopping them because there's just too many of them.
Yeah.
And during one level, they just keep sending more at you. And even in some levels, sometimes they'll magically teleport inside of your castle because they have this bad guy who uses sorcery who can send them in there. And then you're like, oh shit, then you gotta run back inside of the castle and take out those guys. Here I am trying to keep them. See, they're trying to get to that blue orb, which that's called like the rift. So if they get if in the war scenarios, if 40 of them get to that rift, it's game over. In the regular levels, 20 of them have to get to the rift for you to lose. So you're
Yeah.
just trying, and you just want to get none of them to get there. And so if you prevent anybody from ever getting to the rift, you're going to get, all a lot more skulls, which will give you, that's obviously the currency to buy more traps, to upgrade more traps, and to buy more
Yeah.
weapons. You can buy different weapons too. So like she has a weapon called a blunderbuss, and then you can also get a crossbow, you can get bow and arrow, you can get magical like scepters and all sorts of shit. And I don't know. It's awesome. I like this is the game I've been
How's
playing the
it?
most out of anything in the past month. What were you saying?
Yeah, I mean that's. I was gonna say like how's performance, but obviously you've got a
Oh yeah,
4090
perform.
anyway.
Oh yeah, that's something I want to talk about. So I needed to, when you first play this in native stereo, some of the textures don't look right. So if you put it in
Right.
sync sequential, the textures are fine. So that's one
All
thing you
right.
need
So
to,
just
yeah.
change things.
Yeah, the only thing with that is on when you turn your head and stuff on the left and right, you can see some pop in, but
Yeah, I noticed that.
yeah, it's not enough. It was never enough to bother me. But yeah,
Right.
the those textures that look weird bother me a lot more
Yeah.
when you have it on native stereo. And there was nothing else I had to do. You can see here, I started out first person with the third person controls, and I ended up switching back to the regular third person where
Third person.
I used the gamepad. I think that
Yeah.
for this game that felt easier for me.
Yeah, I think it depends on the game. Like the 3DOF stuff, I've never been a massive fan of. With first person stuff, I've always preferred to try and find some sort of mod or profile that's got 6DOF controls with it.
Yeah. So I think that's it for that one. So I'll go to Destroy All Humans. This was on sale. And this is a waifu enjoyers video. This is an old game, but there was a remake of it done in an Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
And you're an alien and you're just going around fucking up humans. Did you try it?
No, I've not played it.
Okay.
Is it fun?
It's okay. It's one of these meh for me games.
Yeah.
It feels very old. Like this was originally I think a PS2 game or something. It
Right.
feels like an old style game. It looks pretty good. Some of the textures, so like this water here looks a little weird in native stereo, and then I switched to sync sequential and it fixed the water, but then it made some other things look too weird. So then
Yeah.
I went back to native stereo. Do you remember what tab that's under? Is that under like runtime or something else?
I think it's just under the Unreal.
Unreal, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this first section you just kill these cows. And then there's some farmers that come and some cops that come and you kill them. I don't really remember
Right.
why we're doing it.
You're an alien. You just
Yeah, you're just wreaking havoc.
spraying people. Yeah.
Um, it seemed really easy, but of course I only played like the first 3 levels. I don't know that I'm gonna go back to it. Oh, and there's some levels where you have to take over people's bodies, and like I could pretend I was them. So there's some stealth stuff too, where you don't want the humans to know it's you. So it's like I don't know, what is it? Invasion of the Body Snatchers, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, you can fly. Flying is cool. That felt good. Let me see. Okay, well, he has a jetpack on his back, and so you can use that at any time. And then there's also points where you can use your flying saucer. So right here, he's flying around the flying saucer. I mean, that just felt so overpowered. I was flying around, destroying the tanks, killing all the cops. I don't know if there ends up later being, probably ends up being levels where you fight fighter pilots and shit. Um, So it was okay. I don't have much else to say. All right. Tony Hawk 1 and 2. So Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. This is a remake of 1 and 2. This is Unreal Engine. And you can play it in UEVR. It was on sale for I think like $15, so that's why I got it. What I
Yeah.
really wanted to do was I really wanted to bind the camera view to the pawn, bind it to Tony Hawk's view,
Oh, did
and then
you?
I tried. The game crashes every time you do it.
Oh, that's a
Yeah,
shame.
that's what I wanted to do. All these crazy tricks, spinning it all over the place, and then
Yeah.
feel that in VR. But
Yeah.
no, it couldn't get it to work. I looked at the Discord, and other people couldn't get it to work. So this
Yeah.
is
I don't know if that would be that enjoyable though.
I want to get fucked up. That's the whole
Yeah.
point of it for me. I want to see if I can get sick.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. And I thought that would be a really good video. That was another reason. I was like, oh, I could do a video of me from Tony Hawk's point of view.
Yeah.
And I thought it would just look crazy. I've had people tell me my
Cool.
videos make them feel sick, and they're just watching a 2D video on YouTube. So I wanted to do that
Yeah.
again. Um, but I played it. I played a few different levels, like just like how they're showing here. This is Waifu Enjoyer's video. Did some
Yeah.
tricks. You can set it. I liked it. You could set it so that there's no wipeout, which made it way
Are
less
you?
annoying. Yeah, there's an option.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So you never fall and have to wait for him to get back on a skateboard.
Yeah.
So I did that. It's made it more fun. But oh, what this game has a time limit. It's only like 2 minutes. So every level you're supposed to go around and find all the skate letters, find all of these other things that are all over the place. But you only get 2 minutes. So I wish they would give you more time. Or you can do a free skate mode, but then in the free skate mode, I don't think there's any of that stuff to find, which
Yeah.
which is if you're just it's not as fun. Like I want to be able to still get the stuff. And I googled it, and there were lots of people complaining about that they didn't want to just have. But apparently, that's how the original game is. You only get like 2 minutes, so you just have to keep playing the same level over and over to try to get all the stuff. Um. So yeah, if I could bind the camera to the pawn. Do you remember where you go to do that? Because a lot of people don't know about that.
I can't. I've not really messed with that much stuff, to be honest with you. I've not found many. I've bought a few Unreal Engine games to try, like
Hmm.
first person stuff, but I generally just try and find a profile because I find
Yeah.
struggle to try and figure out how to bind it to the pawn and all that shit.
Oh,
So
you go to advanced, then you go to CVARs, then in CVARs, I can't remember what I went to.
I don't think it's under there. I can't remember. It's more advanced stuff that you got
It
to do. Like yeah,
okay.
you got to find the pawn. Sometimes it doesn't work, and you've got to like dig through all the files and shit.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
it's
look
not.
under like common. There's like common, and then the pawn will be under common objects or something,
Yeah, yeah,
something
and
like
then you
that.
have to attach it and save the status and
Yeah.
stuff. It's pretty complicated compared to some of the other stuff. And yeah, I think there's some really cool games that I really want to try. You tried RoboCop, didn't you, with that
Yeah, that was with
motion
my
control?
previous computer. I need to try that again with my new computer. The performance was a
Yeah,
little rough, but I was recording
yeah,
also. Um, I think I had the settings. I had the settings up too high.
yeah. That's something again. I feel like I should try it, but my computer's probably not going to be able to handle that.
Yeah. All right. So Ace Combat 7, another UEVR game I tried. This one, it's playable, but there are definitely visual issues. And on Discord, there's all these discussions about ways to fix it that sound very complicated. And Alex read about
Yeah,
that too. I played it.
yeah,
I played it with this third person view. I didn't try to play it in the cockpit. And
yeah. The cockpit view is broken by default.
yeah.
It like sticks to your head, but you can fix it. But it's like such a pain in the ass to get all this stuff fixed. And you can play through the entire campaign with like made for VR cockpits with all the radar working and everything. But to get them working, you've got to use custom skins that are built into the game. But you can't get access to custom skins until you finish the main campaign. So you've either got to play through the entire game like flat to unlock it, or there's like some sort of hack which still requires you to like skip, like do a bunch of shit for each mission, which will take you literally like 30, 40 minutes to do. So there's no easy way right now of being able to just use a profile and play through the entire game in VR properly without a lot of like messing around, which is why I've not done it yet.
And I don't know if you can tell in this video, but I don't think you can. The clouds looked weird in VR, and then the horizon looked weird. It was very aliased.
Yeah, there's ways to fix that stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, oh yeah, you can't see the radar. To see the radar, you have to keep pausing the game. But maybe there's a fix for that.
Yeah,
So
I think the fixes are for first person only. Like
okay,
third person, I don't think it worked.
all right. So then, GI Joe Operation Blackout. This is somebody playing this in first person sixth off. I played it. I played it third person. I think I used 3DOF motion controls. This game, this is kind of reminding me of like Gears of War, but with worse graphics. It has cell shaded graphics. It's not as good as Gears of War, but it had
Yeah,
Gears of War gameplay with like the Gears of War reload thing.
yeah,
Um, it was okay, but it felt like a wave shooter. Is what it felt like to
yeah.
me. Did you play it?
No, I've not played it.
Okay. And there are parts where you get to a turret gun, and then that wasn't good at all. Well, I had the 3DOF thing going on, but then when I got to the turret gun, I couldn't use 3DOF anymore. I had to use like the analog sticks, which didn't feel good. I mean, if you're really into GI Joe, sure. I never was into GI Joe as a kid. I was into Masters of the Universe. Never never got into this army style stuff. Were you in? Did you have GI Joe over there, or is that only America?
No, I had Action Man, I think, was the
Action
one we
Man.
had. Did you
I
not
don't.
have Action Man?
I don't think we did. I don't think so.
No, it was like, yeah, I think that was like our BGI Joe, I think.
Huh. All
But you
right.
had like, it was like a Barbie, a male Barbie thing,
Oh,
where you
really?
could dress it up in different military outfits and you'd have different pistols and guns and stuff.
That sounds like shit from the '60s.
And
Like,
maybe it is, I don't know. That's what I had when I was a kid. I had Action Man.
well, but what was the big popular toy for kids there? It was Action Man.
I don't know.
Oh, all right.
That's why, yeah. Maybe I don't know because I was a kid. I don't really know whether that was maybe just like a hand me down from my parents or something. I don't know,
Yeah.
but that's what I used to play. I used to play
Okay.
Action Man.
Like when I was a kid, Master of the Universe was big, but then the
Oh, he yeah.
Ninja Turtles took over.
Oh yeah. I did He Man and Ninja Turtles as well.
Oh well,
Yeah,
when I said Master of the Universe, yeah, that's He Man. But
yeah,
maybe most people just think of it as He Man.
yeah. I don't. I think it was a He Man. Yeah,
I was obsessed. I had every character and every vehicle and every castle. I was obsessed with that
nice.
stuff. All right. Done with that. Lost Ember. This is one that I'm gonna go back to. So I have the VR game, and I couldn't even get the damn VR game to work.
I was gonna say there is a VR version of this which is free if you own the main game.
Yeah, I couldn't get it to work. It wouldn't even.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was a virtual desktop issue. Well, the game would load, but I couldn't get the controls to work. It wouldn't recognize anything. So then I just said, all right, I'll just play the flat game in UEVR, and I was pleasantly surprised.
yeah,
I I liked it. I like controlling the different animals. You keep switch. You can switch between different animals. Like you're this fox, but then you can become other animals like I don't know, beaver looking thing. But then you can become hummingbirds and ducks, and you're flying all over the place. And
yeah. That's the cool. Cool.
yeah, that's the really cool part. I'm trying to get to somewhere that looks cool. Here's just some little. I don't know what this thing is. What would you
Groundhog
call
or
this?
something.
Groundhog. That's what it is. Maybe there's no flying in this video. This is Waifu Enjoyer again. Oh, is he flying now?
Yeah,
Oh no, he's at the title screen. I don't know what he's doing. Or maybe that's a part where it shows It's not the title screen. It shows the game's logo like a little bit later into the game. It's like kind of like how movies
Intro
sometimes
sort of
do.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah, it's a cool game. I like the way you switch between animals. It's weird because the VR version, in some ways, is not as good as the actual playing it with Unreal Engine VR
Yeah.
because obviously the base game has the VR version has like the camera's too close and it has problems with like visuals. Whereas I found you can tweak things more with Unreal Engine VR, so
Yeah.
you
One
can get
great
the
thing
feel
about
for it.
UEVR is you can change the camera view however you want it. Yeah. So yeah, these parts where you're running around these open hillsides, that's really fun. Um, but I would say one criticism about this game, it's kind of like a walking simulator as an animal.
Yeah,
It feels like
yeah,
there's not much going on.
yeah, it is.
Yeah. But it was very appealing to look at. Um, I like
Yeah,
what I saw so
I
far.
like the animal. I like the way you can switch between animals. You can be a fish and be underwater, or you can be a bird flying around. Like the hummingbird part was really cool, I thought.
Yeah. Yeah, I flew around searching for little hidden secrets and stuff. Yeah. All right. So here's a game I spent a lot of time in. Uncharted Lost Legacy. I played this with the Luke Ross mod.
The grass.
Yeah. At first, I was like, "This looks like shit. This is unplayable." It took me a while to figure out what the issue was. I thought, well, maybe this is because it's a Luke Ross mod and they just suck. And then I was like, well, maybe it's because I'm using virtual desktop. But no, it's the game in the game's options. It defaulted to the resolution was at 50%. I was like, really?
Okay,
So at 50%, it looked so bad that it was unplayable. It wasn't even that it looked that low resolution. It was like there was these weird artifacts everywhere. It was like
right.
graininess everywhere. But
Yeah.
then I put it up to 200%. Then my computer almost died. The game was like frozen. I was like, oh, all right, that's too much. So then I put it to 100%, and then I was like, all right, that's good. That's good enough. So at 100%, I was very happy with how it looked. And this was the resolution in the game, not in the mod. In the mod,
Right.
you have to set that too separately. Like there's this resolution adjuster where you can do it between like 0 up to I don't know, maybe 30. And I usually put it at 20 something.
Yeah.
Um and the higher you put it, the better it looks, but then the worse your performance will be. My performance was pretty good. It's there was still you could still see some halos around characters, which is a characteristic of Luke Ross mods. But
Mm.
it didn't bother me enough to not play it or anything. Um, I loved the lush jungle environments. Like, forget about this scene where she's in a market. I don't care at all about that shit. Oh, and this whole scene where they're going through these buildings, like they're in India and they're getting chased by the bad guys, and they're going along they're climbing edges of buildings, and there's just like any Uncharted game, it's tons of climbing and doing
Yeah.
superhuman feats that are impossible.
Yeah.
Um, it looks so cool, and it's like you're playing an action movie. Basically, is what it
Yeah.
feels like. Sometimes it felt like this is just too much like a movie and not enough game because there's a lot of cutscenes and a lot of cinematic stuff, tons of story of like talking between this woman and the other woman in the
Mm.
game. You beat it, right?
Not the. I played the Uncharted 4,
Uncharted 4.
and then I went and started playing this, and it was just really similar. Like even the
Oh
jungle
yeah.
environment looked very similar to the last part of the game. And I was like, okay, I need a break from this because it was just like the same gameplay loop, basically over and over again.
Yeah, I beat Uncharted 4 on PS4 whenever that came out.
Yeah,
And then I played this and I did feel like I felt like this is the same shit I played before.
It's almost identical to the fourth game towards the end when you're in that jungle
Mhm.
environment. It's basically
Yeah.
this. It looks really similar. They just made it a bit more open so like you can drive around a bit more with your Jeep thing. But
Yeah.
it's the same thing.
Yeah. I I I it's been I guess it's been long enough since I've played an Uncharted game that I still love the
Yeah,
jungle and I still loved going inside. Those temples, they're so detailed. It's like,
yeah.
wow.
I
So
mean,
I
I'd
found
literally just finished the fourth game and then went straight to this, so
okay, yeah.
there was
Yeah.
no gap there.
Yeah. So when you play a game like this, you just I marvel at all the detail because we play in VR made for VR games, there's just usually not going to be much detail. There's so much detail in everything. It's
Yeah,
crazy. Does this video? I'm going through this video. There's some jungle.
there you go.
Yeah, once you're in the jungle, I was like, oh yeah, it looks great. I didn't mean her ass, but
All right, you were like,
I
oh
do.
yeah,
Oh yeah, I do like a third-person view of an attractive woman in a game. I do
oh
like
yeah,
that.
because otherwise you can't see it, can you? If
Yeah,
you're in
yeah.
first person.
I would rather control her than Nathan Drake, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. For a little while, I thought, is she like, does is she in a lesbian relationship with that other woman? I wasn't sure, but then toward the end, it seemed like no. Like, I think
Uh,
the other woman was maybe having a relationship with Nathan Drake's brother and was pissed off at him or something. But oh,
she's in the first. Well,
yeah.
she's in Uncharted 4.
Were
She's like the
they
main
were they a
villain.
thing? Was she a thing with Nathan Drake's brother?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
She was just like she was working for one of the main bad guys in the game.
Oh, okay.
And then towards the end, she's like, "Yeah, I don't give a shit anymore." And then I thought she was a really good character in the fourth game actually, so I was glad that they brought her back into this game.
Yeah. And there's a lot of this driving around in the Jeep, which is fun. Um, yeah, it was
Yeah,
really fun, but like I was like, this is just the only issue is this is just some old old style gameplay that I'm just kind of tired of.
yeah. I mean, it is the same thing. Like I say, if you've played Uncharted 2, 3, 4, it's just literally identical to that. Really,
Yeah.
there's nothing new. Like I thought Uncharted 4 did a good job of adding enough new stuff, and like, visually, it's absolutely incredible. But then they brought this out, and it just felt like just like almost like DLC in a way. It wasn't like a full. Didn't feel like a full game.
How do you make games now that are different? Cuz they all do this, it's all the same type of shit. It's all the
I
same
mean,
mechanics. Like what do they do
most
now?
developers don't. I
They
mean,
don't.
that's the
Yeah.
problem. They just make the same thing over and over again, which
Yeah.
is why I'm bored of a lot of non-VR stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously
You
that's
hide
why.
behind a wall and you peep out and you shoot these enemies, and I mean, it's just like, all
Yep.
right. And then you then go do a puzzle, and a simple puzzle. Okay, and then watch some cutscene, and I don't know.
I do still like games like this, but yeah,
Oh, I
they've
used
got to be
to.
like the best. Yeah, the best.
Yeah.
It's got to be the best versions of this. Like a lot of stuff just feels very boring.
Yeah. For me, I can't play this flat, but you put it in VR, I'm like, all right, well now I can play this because there's something interesting going on here that I'm actually in the world.
Yeah,
That's
I
why
mean,
I've
it's like
gravitated so much to VR.
yeah,
Sorry.
because it's whenever you watch like a game on TV versus playing it in VR, it just feels so lame
Yeah.
in comparison.
Yeah. All right. So another Luke Ross mod is Watch Dogs 2. This is his latest mod. Again, I forgot to try first person. I guess when you're in a
Okay,
car, there's a way to do first person.
yeah,
This is Ian. You met Ian at
I did.
Gamescom. Um, and it performed well. I was surprised. Watch Dogs 1 performed really well, and then this did too. Performed well. But while playing this, I was just like, this just feels like Grand Theft Auto, and I'm tired of that type of game too,
Yeah,
where
I
you
know what you're
just
saying.
like you walk around a city and it's like, oh, here's your waypoint. You need to go to this waypoint, and then here's your
Yeah,
mission, and just I don't know what I need to like get me interested in these types of games again. What like Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to come out what next year? I don't know what they can do to make me interested in it. Do you have any clue?
No, bring it to VR maybe.
Yeah,
I don't
if
know.
I
I
had
mean,
first person with motion controls, for me that would get me interested. But just like third person with a gamepad, even in VR, I don't care.
yeah,
Walking around a city, okay, I'll beat up this person. Okay, I'll shoot these people. I mean, I did that in the when I played it. I was beating up and killing people. Then the cops came, and then the cops killed me. It's like I've done this 100 million times.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. That's why I don't like non-VR games mostly. There are some that I like, but not most of the time. I like to play VR games.
yeah. So if you like this type of game, yeah, I would recommend it in VR. I didn't notice any big issues. I'm sure you would need a powerful system. Like I have a 4090 and a
Yeah,
7800 X3D. Um, probably performs like shit on a lower system.
probably.
Um, I so when you first start the game, you start out immediately in a mission, which I liked. I don't think there was any story bullshit. It was just like, bam, here you're in a mission. That was
Yeah,
cool. Then I beat that mission. Then of course they did all these cutscenes and crap about meeting these other hackers. Like this guy you're playing as is a hacker, and then you meet these other hackers, and then you join their little secret society. And
yeah,
next thing I knew, I was in the city and there was like a red speedboat, and I was like, "Well, I'm going to that red speedboat." And then I just drove that speedboat around on the water for a while. Uh, I wish I thought to try to put it in first person, but I didn't think of it. Then I was killing people and being a dick, and then the cops killed me, and then I was like, I think I've had enough of this. I've done. God, I beat Grand Theft Auto 5 in 2013 when it came out on PS3, and I beat Grand Theft Auto 4 and all the DLC for that game. I played Grand Theft Auto like 3 and Vice City and those other games on like on friends PS2s because I never had a PS2.
yeah.
Um, but I'm over that type. But
Same.
the jungles can bring me back. The jungles of Lost Legacy. I don't know why. Maybe because like I live in an urban environment.
Yeah,
The cities
you
don't
see that
interest
every
me
day.
much. Yeah, I see it all the time.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't know. Okay, now we're gonna give away a key. I tried to give this away last time, but the only person that guessed, he already had the game. That was Simplex. So another Fisherman's Tale. Here's the key: WMK87WB0JAVXH2. And on YouTube, we have a visual representation of that right now. So let us know if you get it. Okay. Now we're going to go to like stuff that was revealed on that VR gaming showcase. Hitman 3 VR Reloaded. This was a new video, like a gameplay trailer because we'd only
Yeah.
seen like barely anything of it before. And this is going to come out in the fall for Quest only.
Mm-hmm. Quest 3, is it only?
I don't know.
Is it Quest 3 only? I can't remember.
Uh,
It's definitely not coming to anything else but other than
yeah.
Quest. But
Yeah. I
yeah,
don't
I mean,
yeah.
I don't really say. The thing is for me that this game we've already played it like in VR on
Yeah.
PC,
Mhm.
and a big appeal is the environments and the way it looks and like being immersed in the like being in a Berlin nightclub and feeling like you're in the club and everything. So they've obviously like had to dumb down the graphics massively,
Yeah.
which it just loses all the appeal to me for this game.
Yeah, I'm not interested at all. The only thing this will have is it'll have better VR interactions.
Yeah, I mean the gameplay loop will be better, which is definitely what the game needed on PC. But just I found just going through the environments and stuff was just even the bad controls are still fun, just because of how alive everything felt and how good everything looked.
Yeah.
And then you take that away and you strip it back and you give it like this cel shaded look, and it's just not appealing at all to me yet.
Yeah, I've been meaning to get back into Hitman 3 and try to beat all the levels because I liked it despite
Yeah, it's a
the
fun game.
controls. Yeah.
Yeah, the controls. What if they could bring this update with the controls, but to the PC version with the PC graphics, then I would literally jump straight back in and play a load of it. But they're not going to do that.
And I
There you
got
go. It's Meta 3.
oh yeah, it does say just Quest 3. What's it called? World of Absolution, the one that gives you extra. Is that what it's called?
What is it? World of Assassins or something? I can't
Something like
remember.
that. And it gives you like what, Hitman 1 and 2 levels to play in
It
VR?
gives you, yeah, one, two, and so you get basically all three games.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's so many
and
levels.
I
It's
think this,
awesome. Yeah.
yeah, and some of the levels are absolutely like the Berlin one's one of my favorites, where you're in the nightclub. It's just like
Mhm.
really cool atmosphere in that place. It's really good.
Yeah, is that the one with the DJ? I killed the DJ and then
Yeah.
I don't know, pretended I was the DJ or something.
Oh, did you? That was cool.
Yeah, yeah. I did a video or 2 or 3 of it because I was amazed, but IOI gave me a free key for it as long as I did videos. I was like, "Really? For me?" It's
Wow,
like, "Shit, I'm a nobody." Yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah. But what they wanted me to do was they wanted me to promote their freelancer mode, and I said to them, like, I was like, "Okay," but then I looked into it, and the freelancer doesn't have VR. So I said,
Yeah,
"Well, I can't. I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to have to do the other stuff." Um. So next game, Arizona Sunshine Remake. That's coming out October 17th for Quest, Steam, PlayStation. And at first, I was like, "Oh, fuck this! I'm not paying $30 for Arizona Sunshine again." But it's only going to be $9.99 if you already have the game, the original. So that's a
yeah,
great deal.
that's a good deal.
Yeah. That was really nice to hear because, like, for example, Wanderer, you have to pay. It's going to be like at least $30 if you already own Wanderer to get the remake. It's
Yeah,
30
which
or
is a lot.
35. It's crazy.
Yeah,
So $9.99. I can't pass on $9.99. If it was $19.99, I wouldn't do it. But $9.99, that's a psychological. I think that's a psychological number that they can get me on pretty much any
yeah.
game.
It's like DLC almost, but you get to play the entire game. It's got co-op, and yeah, you'll be able
Yeah.
to play through it again, but looking as good as the second game.
And
So
with Melee, which the first one didn't have,
yeah,
and so it'll have the
and
physics
it gives all
and
the DLC. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna
yeah,
be. It's not something I can say I'm excited about because I've played the first game like three
yeah.
times now.
Hmm.
Um, but it's if you've never played the first game, then it's great because obviously you get to play the first game, but in a better version of it.
Yep. All right. Next game, Action Hero. This comes out 2024 on Quest by Fast Travel Games. This could be good. I don't know.
Yeah,
It
this
looks
is
like
that
super hot,
super
sort of.
hot. Yeah, a few people tested it at the Gamescom and said they actually preferred it to Vendetta Forever. They said it was more super hot like.
Okay.
Um, so we've got two kind of super hot type. It looks like they've got a lot more diversity as well. In like you're obviously in these cool scenes in movies, and you're fighting
Mhm.
Nazis or dinosaurs, and yeah, it looks really cool actually. I think it's cool that we've got two games that are going to be like these action type of super hot type games.
Yeah. All right. Next one, Grim 2024 Quest and Steam. This is by Combat Waffle that also made Ghosts of Tabor. So because of that,
Yeah.
I'm not interested.
Okay. There
I
you go.
do
That's
not like I do not like Ghosts of Tabor at all. I'm sorry. Um, what are your thoughts?
I mean, Ghost of Tabor for me is not. It's too hardcore for me, and I
Yeah.
found it's quite clunky. Like didn't feel polished. So the fact that they're making another game, yeah, it just looks like I think people are saying it's like Rust or something similar to that game, but like you're in space. I don't know. Yeah, it's not my sort of thing. Can't say I'm particularly interested in it.
Okay, another combat waffle game, Silent North,
Yeah,
comes out 2025, Quest and Steam. Oh,
yeah,
it's a zombie game. I remember seeing this trailer and going like, I'm so tired of zombies.
yeah. This
Um,
is like DayZ type thing, I think,
and
where you like big open world and
it looks
multiplayer
it
and
looks very Quest. It's
yeah. I mean, it's never you can't make. It's like Ghost of Tabor. I found the city level look pretty cool, and but when you do that outdoor one, you can tell that it's been made for Quest, and obviously this has got that outdoor sort of look to it.
yeah. All right. Yeah, both of those are multiplayer games. I'm not. I prefer single player personally. I don't want to have to rely
Yeah,
on other people to play a game because
yeah,
it's not often that I have somebody to play with.
yeah,
All right. And also, I don't like any game where I have to hope that other players are there and that the game doesn't just die.
yeah. That's true.
Yeah. All right. Escaping Wonderland is coming out September on Quest. I like Down the Rabbit Hole, and this is a sequel to that.
Yeah,
But I'm not going to buy it for Quest. I don't know. I have a thing where like if there's any chance that a game's going to come out on Steam, I will wait. Usually, but I got Down the Rabbit Hole in like some bundle where it was really cheap. But I liked it. I think it was pretty short, but I think I kind of liked the puzzles the way they worked. I guess you never played it.
I played the first one a little bit, but I never finished it. I found it was quite simplistic.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting because I was talking to the developers because they were at Gamescom, and apparently 60% of their player base for the first game were female. So, and they said that a
That's
lot of
why I liked it.
they said that a lot of the complaints about the first game were that the puzzles were too hard and they were struggling with them.
Too hard.
Uh, yeah, that's what I mean. So they've made the second game like they're gonna have a big hint system, and yeah, they're working really hard to make sure that people don't get stuck in the second game, which I'm not sure if that's going to be a good thing or not.
Alex said they were too simplistic, and then people are complaining that they're too hard. Okay. Huh.
I mean, I didn't finish the game, so maybe they
Yeah.
got. I did the flower thing, and I thought that where there's the flower, and you have to like do a Simon Says sort of copy thing.
No, I don't
It
remember
just
that.
seemed very. All right, yeah. I mean, I didn't finish the game, so
All right. Maybe it was too
we'll
hard
see.
for you.
Yeah,
All right. Mannequin. We've already heard about this before, but it's coming out September 12th on Quest and Steam. What is this? Prop Hunt? Is that what this is?
so kind of. What's that? There's another one. What did we play that time with?
On
I think it's kind of a blend of. Yeah, on Pavlov there was that prop
Pavlov.
hunt, and there was that. Yeah, there's that monster one. I think it's kind of like a blend between prop hunt and that.
Okay.
I think it's based actually on a mod for Half-Life or something like that. I can't remember.
Okay.
But yeah, you're basically an alien that's disguises itself as human, but if you move, then they can detect that you're the alien. So you kind of, whenever there are other players around, you have to stand perfectly still. You can't physically move at all,
All right.
which is kind of cool.
That would be if you're seated. That would be easy. If you're standing, I think that would be pretty hard to be perfectly still. I
Yeah, I think
wonder.
that's
I
the idea.
wonder.
It's like,
I wonder how sensitive it is.
yeah, I mean, trying to stand perfectly still is harder than you think.
Yeah. All right. Frenzies comes out October on Quest. I don't care about this. Looks to me like a kid game, and I'm
It's just
sure.
another one of these multiplayer shooters with
Yeah.
bright colors and
But you can
yeah,
change your outfit.
yeah. It looks alright, but it's not my sort of thing.
Yeah. All right. That's. I've heard there's going to be different game modes, but I don't remember what exactly.
In Dreams actually had a behind the scenes demo of
Mhm.
some game that I think they've not even announced yet. And no one told me what it was because they were on NDA, but a few people said that it was the highlight of the actual show. Like, it was really good, so I'm curious to see
Oh,
what
it
they've been
wasn't.
working
It
on.
wasn't this game.
No, it was some
Okay.
sort of. It's been touted as a AAA VR game, but I don't know. Uh,
Hmm. All right.
apparently, it's really good.
Band Space comes out Q4 for Steam and Quest. I'm not into this, but maybe some people are. I guess it's going to be Rock Band. I don't know if there's multiplayer. You would assume so.
Yeah, yeah, it's multiplayer. It's got four instruments. You've got guitar, bass guitar, drums, and keyboard.
How do you know so much about
And
it?
it was at the Gamescom, and I spoke to one of the developers about it.
Oh, okay.
He
I
tried
mean,
Trombone Champ, and he was telling me about his game.
oh, all right. Yeah, okay, they're both
Apparently, there's a
musical.
demo.
Oh, there's a demo. So like I had Rock Band and all those instruments years ago, and I just don't
Yeah,
think I can get into it again. But I liked that
I'd give
back
it a try
then.
with you, but yeah,
Yeah,
I used to love
uh,
Rock Band,
yeah, it was like back in the
especially the drums.
PS3 days.
Yeah,
All right, now there's three games where I didn't bother getting the trailer. Into the Radius is going to come out September 19th for PSVR 2. Fract is
yeah,
coming out August 29th for Quest, and right,
cool.
that was already just PSVR 1 and Steam.
Yeah,
And Silent Slayer, which is going to come out October 10th for Steam. And I'm going to get that game. That looks like that's actually fun. It came out for Quest
Silent
already.
Slayer.
Yeah, that's the game
Oh.
where the vampires are in the coffins, and you
Has that
have to.
already come out?
It's already out for Quest. Yeah,
I didn't know that was out. Is that the Shell Games one?
yeah, Shell Games. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that was out.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah. All right,
interesting.
Vendetta Forever. We already talked about. That's
Yeah, good
October.
game. Try the demo.
Quest and PSVR 2. I don't know why not Steam, but
I
okay.
don't know. Mm.
Then Flat to VR. We're gonna go through their four games. This is Flat Out.
Yeah.
Do you know much about Flat Out?
I never played the games, the original games.
Neither have I.
Um, apparently, like just kind of like Motorstorm type, Burnout type. You know, where it's not. It's about more arcadey, jumping, flying over jumps, crashing into each other and stuff. Apparently, it was made. The original few games were made by the same developers as Wreckfest.
Okay.
Then I can't remember.
I
Just the
assume
newer
I
ones were
assume
made
this
by.
will have multiplayer.
I don't know yet, but I assume so. I mean,
Okay.
I can't say 100% sure.
All right. Wrath, Aeon of Ruin. What I'm confused about is this already came out for Quest on like Side Quest or something, right?
Yeah, but it's going to be an official game, your game released with the publisher's permission.
Yeah.
That'll be for sale on all platforms. So.
And it'll be better. I didn't play it
Yeah, they're going.
the other version. I never played it.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot better. Like they're going to have full hand. Like at the moment, it's just like floating weapons and stuff. Whereas they're going
Oh,
to have
okay.
full hands and arcade, and it's going to feel like a proper polished
Okay.
VR game.
This is probably the game I'm most interested in out of the four because I like these
Yeah,
old,
this is definitely your sort of thing.
boomer shooter type games. All right. RoboQuest was another one. This you could play this with UEVR, which I haven't tried. Did you try this with UEVR?
No, because it's a roguelike, so I was never really
Ah,
that
yeah,
interested in it.
yeah.
It's got
So
really good reviews. Like the game's
yeah,
got
it's
really good
overwhelmingly
reviews.
positive on Steam,
Yeah,
and it looks good. It looks like nice and clean. The graphics.
yeah, it's a nice looking game. Apparently, some people who came to the booth were really excited for this one because it's one of their favorite games. So it's definitely going to be the guy Kabbalistics doing the port mostly for this one, which will be the guy who made Half-Life 2 VR mod.
Oh,
So he knows what he's doing.
okay.
He'll do a good job.
Then the one you know the most about, Trombone Champ Unflattens. That's
Yeah.
the one that's like the most developed, right?
Yeah, it's coming out this year. The
Yeah.
others aren't coming out until at least next year, maybe the year after. This one's
The year after.
potentially. I mean, I'm not going to give a
Hmm.
strict release date because there's no
Yeah.
release date for it, but it's
Okay.
100% not coming this year. But
Yeah.
whereas this one is
Yeah.
definitely coming this year.
Okay.
And
What
yeah,
can
it's
you?
good. I mean, I don't think you were really interested in it before because there was a mod for it as
Yeah, I
well.
tried the Raikou part of mod, and I didn't like the game with the
Yeah,
mod. I don't really get the humor. It's a
yeah,
little too silly.
yeah. I mean, it's just it's a game that doesn't take itself seriously. If you play badly, you sound shit, but it's still funny. Like if it's yeah. I mean, I think it's a really fun rhythm game. I've been doing loads of play testing for it, and I still enjoy playing it even after lots and lots of hours
Hmm.
of playing it. Um, VR version, obviously, the official release is like a way more polished, you know, version of it. It's got actual environments. We've switched it up so there's two lanes now instead of one. So like you're not just staring at one spot. You can look around and move to different lanes as the
Two
notes come towards you.
two lanes instead of one. I don't even know what that means.
Well, the original game was just a flat game where the
Uh
notes came from one side of the screen to the other. So
huh.
a direct translation of that would be just have a flat lane. The notes come towards you, and you just look at that and play the notes as they come to you. But we didn't want to
Did
just
you
keep it
say
like that.
two lanes or two planes?
Two lanes.
Two
We're calling them
lanes.
lanes. So like
It's
if you look at the footage, you can
uh-huh.
see
Let me
like
try to find
notes. Then
something.
yeah, the notes are coming from two different places.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
there, you got
Okay.
they're coming from the
Oh shit.
left, and then
Wait a
they'll
second.
also come to the right.
Then
So like you see, they're on the left there, but if
they're
you
on the
look
left. Yeah.
later on,
Uh-huh.
they'll come from the right. So and the songs have been remapped to kind of like facilitate that. So as you're playing, it'll feel natural to switch over to the other lane as the notes come
How do you
towards you.
know when it would switch? Like, does it make sense in the song, like why it would switch
It
to
makes
another
sense in the
lane?
song,
Oh,
and
okay.
you can see both lanes at all times. It's not like you need. We tried it before where you'd have to like move your trombone over and switch the lane like by looking across, and it just didn't feel right. It was too difficult to communicate that.
Here I have frozen it at two lanes displaying, so I see the two lanes now on the screen.
Yeah, so you've got the lane on the right and one on the left, and you can see
Yeah.
like you can as they come towards you, you have to look either left or right. As the notes come towards you, you can move the trombone around if you want to, but it's not essential to the gameplay.
Can you explain the controls in depth? Like how
I mean,
you're yeah,
the
sorry.
controls are basically like playing a trombone. So you've got your trombone held in your left hand, your right hand holds the slide, you move the right hand forwards and backwards, like you would with a real trombone, to adjust the pitch up and down. And as you move your hands up and down, the cursor that's on the lane,
Mhm.
that's on the line on the lane, moves up and down to match. So you
Oh.
kind of just move in that cursor to
Mhm.
match up with the position of the note that's coming towards you, and then you press the button to blow into the trombone, and then you release the button at the end of the note, and then you move the trombone slider to the next position of the next note, and that's basically how it works.
Is there
It's
anything
simple,
about
but
is there anything about
well,
like making noise in the microphone to make anything work?
uh, no, it was tested, but the latency is too high for the
Oh.
mic.
Oh,
It's like when you
alright.
blow, there's a slight delay between you blowing and it registering the
Oh.
game, so we couldn't do that unfortunately. It would have been cool
Oh.
though.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder instead of the main gameplay if there's any way to add that in where it's a minor part of the gameplay. I don't know. Where latency wouldn't matter. But I don't know what a good
No, I mean it's
yeah.
definitely not going to be in there for launch. I mean
Yeah.
maybe a post-launch thing, but it's not something that's going to be in there when the game releases.
Okay. Anything else? Should I go on?
No, I mean it's got a full campaign, so you'll be able to play through. Like you don't just play through any song you want. You have to do challenges, which can be vary from getting a certain rank, getting a certain combo in a score, and then as you get those challenges, you unlock more songs to then play and do more challenges. And there's 3 challenges per song, so there's a reason to go back and play each song. Like if you want to get all the challenges, you've got to go back and play them again. Leaderboards, so you can obviously compete against people on leaderboards. There's customization, there's custom trombones where you've got like one that looks like a fish. There's ones, that look like a plunger. There's ones that look like a cactus. There's loads of different custom trombones that you can buy in the store. Oh yeah, it's a really it's it's taken the non VR game but like fleshed it out even more. It's a better version than the non VR game, to be honest. It's like the most complete version of the game there is.
Is Raikou Parda the main guy working on it, or is there any other
Yeah.
developer working on it?
Rocky Park is the main guy. There is someone else called David who did a lot of work on Beat Saber mods. He's
Okay.
also doing like the development, the code side.
Okay.
But yeah, there's people who are working on just on the UI and the artwork side. There's people who like I work on like play testing and giving feedback on like the tutorial and stuff. And yeah,
Okay.
there's a few people working on it.
All right. You want to go to the next one?
Yep.
Okay. Now, we already knew about Metal Hellsinger, but now we know it's coming out September 26th on Quest and October 3rd on Steam and PSVR 2. And
Cool.
I'm a little bit interested in this. The fact that you
I
need
think
to.
you'll like it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm a little bit worried
I do
about
think you'll like it.
staying like shooting to a beat. Like I don't know if that would annoy me.
I think the music's your sort of taste as well.
Yeah, it
So I
definitely
do
is.
feel like I think you're gonna really enjoy it. It's
Okay.
kind of got that fast-paced Doom style gameplay with a metal soundtrack, and if you shoot on beat, then the music kind of like ramps up. You'll play original it'll just be like just a backdrop, and then more of the song will come in, and when you like hit a full combo, you get the full vocals and everything. It's really
Hmm.
good.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to playing it
All
actually.
right. And then Into Black. I just learned about this recently. Comes out October on Quest.
Okay,
Um,
never heard of this.
I'll let you watch the trailer. Of course, you have a floating little companion that talks to you. There's always like a round, a spherical
Yeah,
floating companion.
yeah,
Um, I guess you're exploring caves
yeah,
and there's an earthquake or something. Okay, you have a flashlight. It reminds me a little bit of Outer Wilds, but then
yeah. It
there's a
looks
giant
kind of cool.
creature like out of Tremors coming out of the ground. It's by the Binary Mill. They did like Gun Club VR and
Rush. Was it Rush?
Rush. Yeah, they did
Oh,
Rush, and
wingsuit game.
I can't remember what else they did.
Oh, the little what was that micro machine type?
Oh yeah, Mini Motor Racing
RC.
X.
Yeah, they did that as well.
Yeah. All right. Uh, we got Batman Arkham Shadow gameplay in a new trailer. And this is coming out, we
Yeah,
know
this
now,
looks really good.
it's coming out in October, which
Yeah,
surprised me. October. And as we already
people
know
are
it's
really enjoying it.
yeah,
Yeah.
a bunch of people played it at Gamescom. Or were they at Gamescom or did they go somewhere else to play it?
No, they were at Gamescom.
Okay, and they had to get appointments and everything. So you can
It was
watch,
an
yeah,
appointment only. Yeah.
those creators got appointments and a lot of the creators show separate B-roll gameplay footage if you want to see that. I didn't bother downloading that or trying to find it.
Yeah.
So they don't have any video of them actually playing the game. They just have the video that the developer provided of gameplay.
Yeah.
And yeah, it looks great. And I did hear that it was confirmed that it's 72 hertz. It's not
Okay.
90, but it's also not that like 45 reprojected crap
Yeah, that don't bother me too much.
or 36 or whatever some games are reprojected.
I mean, it looks great from the trailer. I mean, if it
Yeah,
looks like that, like
this is a must buy. Only thing I don't like is like
Go on.
the HUD elements, like, and when you're punching guys, seeing like critical and times 23, like that type of
Yeah.
stuff.
Hopefully
I'm
you can turn that off in the
Yeah,
options, maybe.
I do hope you can. I'm sure you can't turn off the numbers that appear because I think they're telling you like what type of punch you need to do.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, it looks
Um.
really good. And people have said that it's like really hard. Like the combat's quite hard work and
Okay.
make you sweat because obviously you're having to counter and move around. But yeah, it looks like they've really taken everything from the non-VR games and brought it over to VR. So I can't wait to see this game in VR. And it's really cool to see how, these really high-end AAA developers can actually push the Quest 3 and make something that looks actually good. It's promising for other games that are going to be coming out.
Yeah, when watching the trailer, I was thinking this actually reminds me of Vampire the Masquerade. What is it? Vampire the Masquerade Justice that we both played, but
Yeah,
with better graphics. But like
yeah,
kind of going through the sewers and through these little dungy, dingy. What's the right word? Dingy, dingy areas looks reminded me of that game. Um,
yeah. I think
but
it's kind
I
of similar in a way because that was like a power fantasy where you're a
yeah,
vampire and you can like absolutely destroy a bunch of guys, and this is in a way similar to that. So
yeah,
that's got some similarities to that game.
yeah. So the next game is Behemoth. We found out that it comes out November 14th on all platforms, including Quest 2. Uh, and
Yeah,
this, I don't know, this might be a new trailer. Or it might be the same old stuff. Not sure.
I don't know. Yeah, it looks great though.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was at Gamescom as well. They had a separate booth for that.
And you didn't get to play anything because you were busy working. Man,
No, I didn't get a chance to play anything, unfortunately.
wow. I would have been like, oh, a lot of it was appointment only, I guess.
Yeah, I think pretty much everything was appointment only.
That sucks.
Um,
God,
yeah,
what if you paid to go there and didn't realize that, and you fucking got
yeah,
there?
and you can't play anything
Oh, God, I would be
because
pissed.
like I say, the XR booth was in the business section. So unless you had a business like press pass, you literally couldn't even get to the booth. They might get in the booth. So.
Wow. All right. So we found out Alien Rogue Incursion is coming out December 19th.
Yep.
And this
It's
is what Alien, then they did like this Zula Hendrix focus. And I was like, who the hell? Did you know who Zula Hendrix is?
no.
I was like, who the hell is this? And then I was also worried from this thumbnail. I was worried. I was like, I don't think that looks very good. And I was worried about the graphics. But once I saw the trailer, I was okay. But then I looked up who Zula Hendrix is, and there's been a comic book since 1988 by Dark Horse Comics, and so she's a character.
Right.
This is from the comic. I'm not trying to be a pervert here. This is from the comic book. So
Okay.
I don't know what's going on in this scene, but that's Amanda Ripley. That's Ellen Ripley's daughter that she's restraining or
Oh,
whatever she's
okay.
doing here. And then here's another scene from the comic books with Zula. And that's Amanda Ripley again over there on the bottom right. And I don't know what they're talking about. I guess this comic book has lots of women in their underwear. Maybe that's
Yeah.
part of the appeal. I mean, so did the movies. The movies always do.
But how have they managed to make her look so weird in the game though?
I don't know.
She
Yeah,
looks good in
yeah,
those some comic book
yeah. But
things.
I was like when I first
She
saw
looks
this, I was like, is she like part alien? She looks weird. So
yeah.
I don't know. So anyway,
It's not a good look.
here's the trailer, the Zula Hendrix trailer on. It says work in progress, not representative of final gameplay. So I'm a monster guy. What I care about the most are the xenomorphs. As long as they look good,
Yeah.
I'm happy. And I think the xenomorphs look
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, there was another
And
trailer which showed kind of like some of the weapons and stuff,
I'm
and
gonna show those too.
yeah, they looked way better than this trailer, and yeah, they've visually it looks really good. They've captured the atmosphere well. The animations of the enemies look pretty good. I was a bit worried about, like I think I mentioned it last time, last month where when when they get shot, they don't really react much, which worries me a little bit. But I think I'm excited for this game. I'm a massive Aliens fan, so
We're gonna get
um,
into Aliens heavily in a couple minutes.
wait, okay. Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Have you seen the film Alien
yeah,
Romulus?
yes.
Cool.
We
Okay,
have a
we can
lot to
talk about
talk
that.
about. More
Yes.
spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, both Alex and I saw Aliens Romulus. Is it called Alien or Aliens Romulus? I don't remember.
Don't know actually.
Yeah, I don't
Good
either.
question.
All right, so then here's the Xenomorph trailer. So there are 3 trailers. One's Zula Hendrix, one's the Xenomorph trailer, and one's the Weapons and Gear trailer. And I don't know if it was because this game's coming out or what, but I decided I want to rewatch a bunch of Aliens movies, and I never saw Alien Covenant, so I watched that. That's
Yeah.
the follow up to Prometheus, which I saw in the theater. So I saw
Yeah.
Covenant, then I watched Alien, the original again. Then I
Yeah.
saw Alien Romulus. Then I watched Aliens, the second one, because that's actually the correct order. I looked up the order that they were supposed to have taken place. It was Alien, then Romulus, then Aliens. Then I
Yeah. That's
watched
right.
then I watched Alien Resurrection because I wasn't sure if I ever actually even watched all of that. I didn't rewatch Alien 3 and I didn't rewatch Prometheus. Alien 3 I think is the worst one, right?
Yeah.
And
Well,
I
I
don't
don't know. Maybe Resurrection. I don't know.
yeah,
Some people
Resurrection's
really.
shitty. That's shitty too.
Mm.
So this is the Weapons and Gear trailer. Yeah, that xenomorph wasn't reacting, but maybe it only reacts
Yeah.
once it dies. I don't know.
Watch this with the shotgun. Like
Okay.
they pump point blank into the shotgun, and like, here we go.
Yeah, nothing happened.
And they just like still just
Yeah,
jumping around
this.
and moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you and I
Important to like.
played through Alien Fireteam Elite together.
Yeah.
Did those ones react? I mean, I don't. There's so many of them
Yeah.
from that
You can
shit.
if you hit them, like they'll stagger a little bit and like
Okay.
roll around. Like they don't just keep charging at you at full speed.
So Alien Isolation is too much hiding and not enough action, and then for me, Alien Fireteam Elite was too many fucking aliens, and it gets
Constant. Yeah.
to where it gets boring. Whereas I hope this is a nice in between.
Yeah. I think they need to make the aliens like really dangerous.
Hmm.
Don't have loads of them, so that when one comes, he's like, shit, this is kind of like Propagation Paradise Hotel where they had,
Yeah,
you know, zombies were hard. Like one zombie can fuck you up. They need to do that sort of approach where one xenomorph is enough to be a problem.
yeah.
Um, and if you get two or three, then it becomes really frightening and difficult.
All right. So I looked up like chronologically because I was, after watching all these movies, I was confused. I was like, what, the order of them? And apparently, the Alien versus Predator movies came first, but maybe that's only as far as the year that the movie was supposed to have taken place. Because I don't think you can't really connect those two movies to the other movies, can you? Because it doesn't make sense.
Mm,
After you've seen Covenant and you see the origin of the facehuggers and the Xenos, that doesn't
yeah,
really that doesn't make sense if the AVP game movies came first,
yeah.
right?
I don't really like Covenant though. I feel like they were trying to explain things that didn't need to be explained. Like, oh, we created the xenomorph, and
Yeah, yeah. So we're gonna get
but
into spoilers.
even in Romulus, yeah, even in Romulus, they kind of like make it like they've recreated them or something. And it's like,
So I have questions since you're an Alien fan. We agreed that like Alien Covenant, it was like slow, but then once the aliens appeared, the xenomorph, like the babies, they develop extremely fast. Like,
yeah, I mean the thing gets on top of the woman, or is it the guy? I can't remember.
mhm.
Just like lays an egg. The thing bursts out and becomes fully grown within the space of a few minutes. It's like,
Here's the thing with that. After I watched Alien, like I said, after that, and then in Alien, it happens on pretty much that fast. So I was like, all right, well, at least they're
Was
At least,
it? I
yeah,
thought
it
the
happened.
guy literally like goes to sleep and wakes up and he feels okay and he's in the.
Oh, I meant once it chest bursts. Once it chest bursts out of him, that it develops from that tiny Xeno to a big Xeno really fast.
Oh right, okay,
But once it was inside him, yeah, I think it did actually take a while for it to, chest burst. I don't. So in
yeah.
Covenant, did it chest burst way too soon? Is that what happened?
I mean, yeah, it seemed to like just lay at the egg, and he was almost immediate. But they did that in Romulus as well. Kind of like she gets the facehugger on her, and then
Hmm.
within very short period of time, it's coming out of her. It's grown and it's full coming out of her, and then it does some sort of weird cocoon thing and grows to a full size alien really
Yeah.
quickly.
All right. So what did you think about in Covenant? Like David is basically David the android. His experiments are what resulted in the face huggers and the xenomorphs, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
and
he's created the perfect organism or whatever
like,
they
what's
want to
his
call it.
motivation? Like, he hates the engineers and the humans, but like, why? Do you
I don't know.
remember? Okay,
I
he
don't really
wants them.
understand it.
Yeah, he wants them all dead, and I didn't really understand why. In one scene, he lets loose all of that black goo or dust or whatever to kill all the engineers, and I'm
Yeah,
like, I mean, okay, why? Didn't really get
yeah,
it.
it was. Didn't get
So
it neither.
in Covenant, there's a scene where there's all those alien eggs with the face huggers in them, and I'm thinking, where do those eggs come from? Wouldn't there need to be a queen to lay them? So it's like, what came first, the queen or the egg?
Well, he didn't he engineer? I don't know. This is what I'm
He
saying. Like he engineered the eggs with the face hookers in them, I guess, and then
he engineered the eggs. Oh,
yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's so many issues with the plot and how
yeah.
they did it. It's like that's why I don't like that film because it felt like they were trying to explain the origin of the alien without.
Hmm.
As far as I was concerned, it was just some sort of it was some sort of organism that was just like any other organism that's we're just like humans or whatever. We
Did
all
just
just evolved
evolved
from.
naturally.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I mean, why does it have to be manufactured by something? Why can't it just be an organism that exists because that's just what it was. That's how it evolved over time to become.
I guess because they want to have some other, obviously the xenomorphs are evil. They always in all these movies they always want to have like some human or some android that's evil, and that was their
Yeah,
way. That was their way to make it evil, I guess.
yeah,
Because in
yeah.
Alien,
I
the
don't like.
original, I didn't remember because I haven't seen Alien since I was a kid. But the android in that movie is evil.
Yeah,
Ash,
and
I
he's in
think his
this.
name.
Yeah, and he's in Romulus as well.
Yeah. Well, that was confusing as
There's
hell
some
for
really
me.
bad CGI.
Well, here's the because that's actually not the same android.
It's not.
No, it's not. It's the same actor, like the same face, but the Ash, that android, got he got destroyed when Ripley left left in her little shuttle. That whole space station blew up, or whatever the hell
Oh,
it was. She blew it
was
up.
it?
She did a self destruct sequence, and then she flew away from that place.
Oh,
So
so that was
so
just the same android, but just a
the,
different android.
it's it's the same model, just like how the T eight
Yeah,
hundred. There's like multiple of them.
yeah,
That's I think that's what it has to be because that android has to be dead because
yeah,
Romulus took place after Alien, and in Alien that thing got blown the fuck up. Um,
yeah,
I think I was so confused by that. I was like, well, why don't they just use a different android with a different face instead of confusing everyone in Romulus?
yeah. I think they wanted to have that in there though, like as a
Hmm.
callback to the
I thought it
first
looked
film.
bad though. I didn't think it looked real. Like I guess they used some sort of AI or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, the CGI was terrible.
Yeah, it was bad. So in Alien, they go they find and go inside the Prometheus ship. I didn't even remember that. Like when I saw the movie Prometheus, I didn't remember that ring ship is actually in the first movie.
Yeah,
I didn't
Yeah,
know
that's where
that.
they find it on the actual planet, I think.
Yeah,
That's an
and
engineer's ship.
yeah, I hadn't seen it in so long. Um, okay, then I saw Alien Romulus in the theater. So in Alien, this is obviously spoilers, so don't listen if you care. But there's a pregnant woman. As soon as they showed that pregnant woman, you're like, oh, I know what they're gonna do with her.
Yeah.
Oh, you
I didn't
did?
think that actually,
Oh,
so
you didn't?
no.
Okay, I was like, oh,
No.
I wonder what the fuck they're gonna do to that baby. And so by the end of the movie, you find out it's sort of like Alien Resurrection. What I didn't like about Alien Resurrection was that there was that Ellen Ripley hybrid xenomorph thing that had like a human looking face. Then they do the fucking same thing again in Alien Romulus. I didn't like it at all. So it's like a human xeno hybrid thing that bursts out of this pregnant woman. And I don't know. I read some people that said they liked it a lot. And then I read some people that said they hated it. And I, I, I find that less scary than just a regular xenomorph.
Yeah,
But
the xenomorphs are scary, but the
yeah,
weird hybrid human thing that was
I,
transforming into a xenomorph, I think. I couldn't quite work out what it was, but yeah, it was weird. Just like with the resurrection, with that weird thing that they had at the end, it was
yeah,
strange.
yeah. That thing. So it's so in Alien Resurrection, it gets born from the queen alien, but it has
But not
Ripley's
without an egg.
DNA. Yeah, without an egg, but it
Yeah,
has Ripley's DNA in it. It's hard to understand that. Then it kills the queen alien immediately as soon as it's born. Then it goes over to Ripley and is all like,
Mammy.
"Mommy,"
Yeah,
and then she takes its blood and throws it out a window, and then the window, because the blood is acidic, extremely acidic, breaks the window. Then it gets sucked out the window, comically.
yeah,
Um, so okay, in Romulus, they did a lot with the alien blood. I thought that was cool, especially in the anti-gravity scenes with the blood floating in the air, and they had to dodge the
yeah. That was
blood.
a cool scene where they had the anti-gravity.
Yeah,
They turned the anti-gravity off, and then there's like alien blood floating around that they've got to avoid. That was pretty cool.
yeah. And if you
Great.
like face huggers, Alien Romulus is probably the best face hugger movie because there's fucking shit ton of face huggers uh,
Yeah.
coming
Although
after
they
them.
they,
What are you saying?
they seem to struggle to hit people though. They were like
Yeah,
they were constantly missing people.
yeah, missing
Like
all
they
the
had all
time.
these facehuggers, and like only one person got killed by a facehugger. So.
Yeah, yeah. The one in Alien did not miss. And then okay,
No.
in Alien they try to get it off, and they cut one of its fingers, and then the acid drips all the way through the ship, and they're like, oh shit, we
Yeah.
can't cut this thing. I didn't remember that, but yeah, I do really like when they have to think about the acid and that shit. But then what's crazy is in Aliens, in the second one, they're just going nuts, just blowing these aliens up all over the place and not too worried about the acid, which is
Yeah,
funny.
but they're not on a ship though.
Yeah, they're not on a ship. What are they on in Aliens?
They're on the planet, like
On the
terraforming
planet.
planet. That's
Okay, that's why.
yeah.
That's why. Sometimes I forget like what the fuck they're on because they're just in like a hallway, a metallic looking hallway, and I'm like I forget now.
Yeah. It looks very similar to a ship.
Okay, when I watched Aliens, I watched the extended edition. I don't know if you ever did. So there was some
Yeah, I've
stuff I
watched
had
it.
never seen. Oh, you did?
With the Newt where he shows Newt and
And her
they go and
parents.
find the thing. Yeah, parents, yeah.
Yeah, so you see Newt with her brother and their parents. I don't know why they decide, hey, let's go investigate again. It's that same Prometheus ring ship. Let's go see what's in there. They go in there. The dad gets a face hugger on his face, and Newt screams. And I was like, shit, I don't remember that scene. And that's because it's only in the extended edition. So then when you see, okay, so here's the other thing that's very interesting. In a scene in Aliens in the beginning, Ellen Ripley learns that her daughter, Amanda Ripley, has already died because Ellen was in stasis for like 55 years.
Yeah.
And you don't even, in Alien 1, you don't even know that she has a daughter. It's like, so
No.
maybe that's why they cut the scene.
Mm.
But
Okay.
I like that a lot. They're like I like that, they show her loss of that her daughter died and she's sad about it,
Yeah.
obviously. And then you see what happens
Director's
to
cut is
Newt,
better.
huh?
Yeah. The
So then
director's cut is yeah.
yeah, better. Yeah,
Yeah.
so then the scenes with Ripley and Newt mean more, I think.
Yeah, because it shows that she's attached to her, like, and she's treating her almost like a daughter.
Yeah.
Whereas without that knowledge of knowing that she had a daughter that's died, I mean, obviously you still got the motherly instinct, but it just has more weight to it that she would care so much about this child. So
Yeah. And also as a father, when I first saw Aliens, I was a kid. I didn't give a shit about Newt. Now that I'm a
yeah,
father and that girl actually Newt reminds me of my daughter a little bit. I was like,
yeah,
"Holy shit." I was getting emotional worrying about Newt. All right, so
yeah,
then there's another scene with sentry guns that was only in the extended version. I was like, "Oh shit, this reminds me of Fireteam Elite where we were having to keep
yeah,
putting ammo in those sentry guns." So I thought that
yeah.
was
That's what
cool.
that was for us from. Yeah, that's a lot of director's cut has a lot of bloat in it, but I feel like there's a lot of content in the director's cut of Aliens, which
Mhm.
that adds to the film rather than takes away from the film. So I definitely recommend watching the director's cut. Like that center scene kind of shows just how many of them there are and how like
Yeah.
fucked they are,
Yeah.
and how like vulnerable they are because obviously they managed to drain one of the sentry guns. Another one's got like 10 bullets or something left in it at the end. So
And one more thing about that the heavy loader scene where Ripley fights the Queen. That must have been so badass if you were in the theater at the time when that door
yeah,
lifts up and Ripley is in the heavy loader and
yeah,
she says, "Stay away from her, you bitch." That is so
yeah,
fucking badass. I was watching that, like I've already seen the movie before. I was watching that like so fucking pumped. And I noticed there's no music during that scene when they're fighting. And I think that's awesome. It doesn't even
yeah.
need it.
No, it doesn't. It's such a that game. That movie was so ahead of its time. Like just with the like when you think that there's no CGI and they had the low load, the fuck drift load of things which looked real and
Yeah.
everything just looked really good.
Yeah.
It's really well done.
Oh, another thing. Okay, you remember how there's this Latin woman with short hair who can do pull-ups and shit? She's tough, but she's also kind of sexy.
Vasquez, yeah,
Yeah, Vasquez. She that the same actress is John Connor's stepmom
Terminator,
in Terminator 2.
yeah,
Oh, you already knew that.
Terminator 2.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was like, because I Googled
yeah.
her, and that's when I learned that. And I was like, holy shit, same woman. So I don't even know if she's actually Latin. Maybe they just like put some makeup on her because she
No, I
doesn't
think she
really.
is.
Oh, she is. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Uh, like I said, I had a lot of shit to talk about. I could talk more about aliens, but I
So
think
what's just your general thoughts on Romulus then to
okay.
finish us up?
I liked Romulus a lot, and and the whole android thing. I liked I liked her relationship with the android. I don't remember his name.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I
the
can't
whole
remember.
movie you feel for
Um,
him because he's picked on
Yeah.
and treated like shit. He's almost like an autistic, you know,
Yeah.
autistic android is what he seems like.
Yeah.
One thing I didn't get, they take the data disk out of that evil android and put it into her friend android,
Yeah.
and then he can like help them get through doors and shit. But then he becomes like a little bit more evil. Like, but taking that disk out, why didn't that change the evil android? Like, didn't he stay evil even though they took that disc out?
I thought they got it out of a different android than the evil
Oh, well,
android.
was it a different one? Maybe it was a different android then.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think there was one that was on the floor that was kind of dead.
Oh, all right. I'm mixing up my
I think. I
androids.
can't remember.
I'm
Yeah.
mixing up my androids. All right. Yeah, I liked all of that. I liked all of it until the end with that hybrid. Like, I feel like you don't have to keep like upping the ante. You don't have to keep
Yeah.
now this hybrid, now a Predalien, now a who
Yeah.
the fuck knows what. No. I'm cool with just xenomorphs. You can make them smarter. Like maybe they somehow evolve to be more intelligent. I
Yeah.
don't know. But when they keep hybriding hybridizing them with everything.
Yeah.
It's cheap to me. I don't know. So what do you
Yeah, I agree.
wish they did at the end instead of the baby Xeno thing?
I don't know. I mean, they could have always just ended it. You know what I mean? They didn't have to do
Mm-hmm.
that. But I feel like part of my criticism was that w- I wish they'd added more cast, like added more people in the movie because there was literally only 5 people in the main
Mm-hmm.
like cast.
Mm-hmm.
So it meant like there was very few people they could actually kill off. So there wasn't really much in way of like aliens like ripping through people and facehuggers killing people and stuff because they couldn't afford to kill off that many people. That was one of my main criticisms,
More
and also
death.
like yeah, more like deaths of
Yeah.
people getting murdered by the facehuggers or the xenomorphs because there was only
Okay.
really like I think the one person got a egg laid, then the pregnant woman gave birth to that fucking hybrid thing.
Was
What was
there
the other two? Oh, the
was the father? I think the father of that baby was the guy that was at the
oh
door. Let her in. Let her in. Was that him?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It didn't really fully say it, but like they had when they were together on their own, you could tell like they were in a relationship
Yeah, it
type of
seemed like
thing.
it.
So
All right.
yeah, and then he got his death was pretty cool. How the acid came through and like just literally went straight through his body. Like,
Yeah.
that was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was only one. Well, there was only really one guy who got killed by a xenomorph, like which was the guy who got pulled up into. And even that just felt a bit lame. Like he just got pulled up, and then
Yeah.
the xenomorph kind of like just ate him. It's like okay, well that's that then. But
Yeah.
yeah, other than that, I thought it was really good. It's never going to match Aliens for me, which is my favorite.
Yeah.
But I think they did have some really interesting ideas, like with the zero gravity. I thought that gun was really cool with the aim assist, but again, it didn't really make sense, seeing as it was set before Aliens, but somehow the military didn't have access to this fucking auto shoulder thing, which allowed you to fire it really accurately. But
Yeah.
I guess they wanted to add something new to the movie, so.
I guess so. Oh, and there's going to be a TV show now, Alien Earth,
Earth, yeah, that could be cool.
on FX. Um, when is it? It might
Yeah,
come. It might come out next year, I think. Like
yeah.
they've already filmed it, so now they're doing post production.
I think it's good that they're bringing aliens back, but like not. I mean, so far, obviously, this film was a hit. I think it's a really good film, and I think it's done well at cinemas. So they'll probably end up bringing out more films.
Yeah.
I just hope that they don't end up bastardizing it and trying to do too much with it.
Yeah, and Alien Earth, it's going to be 3 decades before Alien, and it's I don't know what are they going to like have face huggers and xenomorphs on Earth? I don't. That wouldn't make much sense.
That wouldn't make any sense to the film
Yeah.
though, because then
Yeah,
that
I
would
know.
mean they know they exist before they
Yeah.
even find them.
So
So
I think I read it's going to focus on the company, the Wayland Yutani company,
yeah,
and I'm not sure how you make that exciting if they don't have the aliens there. Oh, it'll be Android shit. I'm sure. Okay, they'll be like making their androids, and then some of the androids obviously will be like early models, and they'll fucking malfunction and be homicidal or some shit like that, probably.
yeah, we'll have to see how they handle it. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't really watch a lot of TV shows anyway. I generally just watch
Yeah.
movies, but
Yeah.
if it's an alien thing, I'll watch it because I like alien
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. All right. Anything else? Think of any other games that we didn't talk about?
No, no, we've got a bunch of stuff to play, bunch of stuff coming up, which we'll talk about next month, hopefully.
Oh, what about that Alien game? There's like an overhead view Alien game on Steam, and I think you can play it in
Alien
UEVR.
Descent,
Is that UEVR?
yeah, that's kind of like a you can play it in UEVR, but it's kind of like a top-down strategy game almost.
Yeah, I wonder if that's
You
any
don't
good.
actually have, yeah, you don't have like full control over the people. You kind of command them
Oh,
to do stuff.
maybe I couldn't do that. Oh, all
Yeah.
right, all right. I guess that's it. Got anything else?
Yep. No, that's it.
All right. Thanks for watching and listening.
Yep. Thank you very much.